able to see clearly inside your heart.
You've had me in deep hypnosis, and I asked you not to do that.
Hey, what's happening, everybody? Hey, I'm not Cobain, not yet. Maybe I should have just changed my name afterwards, but it's okay. Oh, did I even share a live stream link? I did share. Oh, yes, we are live right now. How's it going out there, folks? Thanks for coming out tonight to another unproduced virtual reading here on the YouTube channel, Donovan TPS. We've got a great number of performers. Somebody coughing? Not yet. Don't cough until we start, because there's going to be a lot of coughing in this script. I don't know how much coughing there is in the actual script. I'm talking about murder and death and carnage and all this other fun stuff. Not fun in reality, but fun in the movie is going to be happening, because tonight we're doing an unproduced version of Freddy versus Jason. I'll give a quick insight. There were a lot of unproduced scripts regarding this. If you go look online, you can read about, there was Jason on Trial. There was one where they box in hell. There was the Cult of Freddy, I believe. There's also this version, the Peter Briggs version. I happened to pick this. It happened to be the first one that popped up of Freddy versus Jason. I didn't realize there were so many other scripts. I did the characters, and then I was like, oh, wow. But then I realized there's so many other versions of scripts. So maybe one day I'll do the other ones. I'll have to see how I feel. But this is going to be super exciting. I'm not going to reveal the cast because I want them to reveal themselves as they come out as characters, because we have improvisers from all around the world. And I'm super excited for this. So please, if you're watching at home, comment, laugh with us, do all that fun stuff. Please subscribe to the YouTube channel. Stick around. It's going to be a fun show. So let me see. Let me make sure I have all my things open. I have the rolls open. I have the script open. Let me go to the top of the page. Yes. And without any further ado, Merle is going to take it away with stage directions. She's going to start reading. Here we go. Please welcome. Oh, nobody's going to welcome up. This is Freddy versus Jason, a screenplay by Peter Briggs. Merle, take it away. Got your back. Woo!
Epic music off screen. The main titles rolling over a series of medieval woodcuts Sinister imagery, monsters, demons, torture devices, dissolving into one another, and then we open on. Exterior, hillside pass, sunset, 17th century. Lush green fields and vineyards, very like the Napa Valley. Solemn Benedictine channel on the soundtrack, and the distant resonant tolling of a church bell off screen. We hear tinkling chimes with a gentle clip-clop of hooves as a burro crests a dark hill, silhouetted against a blood-red sun, its rider adorned in lavish Catholic vestments. Before we can be amused, 6 magnificent chargers follow, 2 grim-faced civilians in formal Middle Ages clothing to the fore, a vanguard of pennant-wielding soldiers at back. Closer now, the horses are nervous. The burro's rider, Signor De Luca, murmurs something nervously in Italian.
Le colline hanocci.
Pitt, a wary American witchfinder, narrows his eyes, turns to his traveling companion.
What did he say?
Hopkins, an aristocratic Englishman with a startling similarity to Christopher Lee, avoids his gaze, scours the encroaching terrain with his keen vision.
The hills have eyes.
The horses whinny, worried by something nearby. Sheet lightning whites out the sky, drizzle spattering the earth.
It's begun.
An angle above, looking down. The company trek purposefully along the winding trail. Something dark prowls past immediate foreground, growls inhumanely. Exterior castle approach, sunset, 17th century. The horses buck and rear as they round the bend.
Mother of God.
Their point of view, a pair of grotesque wooden-framed effigies dominate the trail ahead, one to either side. Human-shaped, 30 feet tall, both are aflame, packed with burning cadavers. Anyone remember the 1973 movie The Wicker Man?
I've seen this before.
In England?
In the darkest chasm of my dreams.
As the troop continues forward, we crane up behind them. Half a mile away, a Gothic Italian castle looms ominously. Dark thunder clouds roll supernaturally across the sky. A superimposed caption card informs us this is Italy, 1648. Exterior entrance, castle, night, 17th century. The ground has turned to slush. The horses skid, lose their footing. An ornate wooden box tethered to a saddlebag bursts open, releasing...
Pontiff!
Soldier number 1 dismounts, scrattles in the mud, passes 2 rather plain-looking daggers back to De Luca. As he does, they transform, morphing into exact duplicates of the Byzantine blade which slayed Jason Voorhees in Jason Goes to Hell. Astonishment flashes across the soldier's face.
This matter will not pass your lips.
Hopkins and Pitt stare covetously at the weapons.
The daggers of Horvath.
Sacrosanct, set forged by the alchemists of dead Atlantis. Hey.
Hopkins?
And also the blade which pierced the side of Christ.
De Luca shrugs, perhaps a little annoyed.
The origins are unimportant. Only their powers count this day. Tether the animals.
A turret rises above, a portent of doom. Lightning flares. Interior, entrance hall, castle, night, foreground, miniature. Boots echo on stone as the group enter an expansive circular chamber. Water plink-plunks from dank archways all around. Inverted crosses on the walls, torches flickering in metal wall holders. A wide staircase spirals into a cobweb darkness above. A pair of giant sensors swing back and forth, dozens of dangling chains with upturned corpses, real grand guignol, tangled in them. The faint strains of a nursery rhyme, somehow familiar to us in truth. Incongruously, the lyrics are Italian.
Uno, dos, no spiega pote, tre, quattro, duvet, sacro dupot. You hear?
Si, Pete.
The American stares up at the hanging wrought iron chandelier frame, scrutinizing the symbol forged into it. Neither Celtic run, nor Egyptian glyph, nor Sanskrit, nor pentagle, but somehow all at once.
Salin, 4 years past, I burnt a coven. This same device. Evil is at hand.
Nove dici no d'amore.
A vertical angle high above. The rhyme stops. Silence. We hear a steady thump, thump. They draw their swords as something punches forcefully through the cobweb veil, bounces down the steps, comes to a halt at soldier number 3's feet. A dyed purple leather ball. He bends.
Wait!
Either the man chooses to ignore or he doesn't understand. He picks it up. There's a medieval smiling sun embroidered in gold filigree on one side. He grins, flips it to see burns and melts, maggots and yellow bile pouring forth into his hand. It multiplies exponentially, spilling up along his arm in a second like a cancer. He turns, screaming to the others.
Back! Stay back!
The soldier lurches for them, his entire body consumed now. He stumbles, falls to the floor, exploding into a mass of scarab beetles that scurry past his feet for the corners of the room. DeLuca crosses himself. Giggling from above, the group look up to see a pair of young girls in white dresses duck back over the high balcony.
There.
Interior, winding stairway, castle, night, 17th century. A huge spider scuttles across the thick blocking cobwebs. The group cautiously ascend the stairway, slicing at the musty veil. As Pitt turns his lantern to see a wall heaving with bugs, a covey of crows flush from a cranny, wings fluttering into their face, blinding them. DeLuca staggers back, feet pedaling on the edge, a straight drop, 50 feet.
Signor!
Hopkins' hand lashes out and drags him back.
Grazie.
Interior corridor, castle, night, 17th century. At the corridor's end are massive iron doors, 5 feet tall. A pair of drop-dead, gorgeous black women in white robes stand before them, staring enigmatically with peculiar eyes. The smoke wreathing them swirls back through the doors like reverse time-lapse, gliding them with it. Interior necromancer's lair, castle, night, 17th century. Another cylindrical chamber, the Pentagon, symbol Pitt recognized hewn large on the ancient stone floor. Through a glass skylight above, turbulent clouds simmer menacingly.
The necromancer.
In the chamber's center, above the Pentagon, about 5 feet off the ground, floats a man, crunched into a fetal position. He is naked, tautly muscled, every square inch of his body inscribed with occult symbology. He also bears more than a passing resemblance to Robert Englund.
My nephew.
The doors slam closed behind them, the wall torches extinguishing, the chamber becoming wreathed in the darkest shadows imaginable. A woman's laughter echoes icily off screen.
Time is short.
Let's us hurry.
The three men approach. The air shimmers as if they've just passed through an invisible field of some kind. The three soldiers stare around the room nervously. All around are drawings and models, prototypes of fantastic inventions. They're so preoccupied, they don't notice their own shadows peeling away from their bodies and sliding up the wall to vanish into the gloom above.
Help me! Reveal his heart! Reveal his heart!
DeLuca holds the dagger steady as Hopkins and Pitt reach up to grasp the necromancer's folded arms. Behind them, dark, grasping claws shoot down from above towards the soldiers, hauling a screaming soldier number one upward. The necromancer's eyes snap open instantly, unleashing a bellow of rage. DeLuca slams forward with astonishing strength, driving the dagger into the necromancer's chest, but only partway. The creature's arms whip out with superhuman force, knocking the demon slayers away. Soldiers 2 and 4 back furiously away with their swords, trying to release their comrade as Hopkins reaches out, grabs the dagger's handle, and drives it further into the necromancer's heart, twisting it. He shrieks.
Like a feral animal.
DeLuca gazes around at the complex inventions.
Wait, no, then page 7?
We're on page 7.
Yeah, like a feral animal?
No, I've got like a feral animal on page 8.
Okay, well, that's where we're starting.
Okay. Like a feral animal, then falls to the floor. That same instant, the disemboweled corpse falls. Soldier number 1 drops out of the shadows with a thump. The survivors edge warily forward until their lanterns flare like xenon, achingly bright. The shadow in the room seemed to alter, flow. A moving liquid mass from every corner that pours toward the fallen necromancer, entering the corpse's mouth and nostrils. The chamber brightens until there are no more shadows in the room. A beat, then the body explodes, atomized to fine droplets. An enormous form rises up from within, some vast cloaked outline laughing with deep malevolence.
Foolish mortals, do not task me.
Be gone, Napoleon!
A shadow tentacle lashes out, slithers around Pitt's neck, hauls him off the floor and squeezes tight. The crucifix clatters to the ground as blood seeps from his lips. Hopkins and soldier number 4 race forward to help. Another pair of tentacles explode forth. Hopkins is sent sprawling, the black mass punching straight through soldier number 4's armor like a javelin and impaling him against the wall. An arrow unleashed from soldier number 2's crossbow evaporates in midair. Pitt's tentacle finishes its work. His decapitated body drops to the ground, the head rolling off into the shadows. Another pseudopod hurtles for DeLuca, who cries out. But suddenly Hopkins is there, wielding a dagger of Horboth. The tentacle hits the holy blade and ribs into black ice, showering the chamber floor. The shape laughs uproariously.
When time reaches its close and your race attains the skies, I will set my creature to shatter this world.
Cast into hell, foospawn!
The stone pentagon beneath Necromancer's corpse shatters like glass, dropping into a gaping esophageal tunnel that plunges into the depths of hell. The shadow form disappears in a shockwave blast that explodes the skylight and splinters everything breakable. The mocking laughter fades as the pentagon reseals whole.
Demons so overdramatic.
A tiny red dot flickers.
Oh, DeLuca gazes.
What page?
Page 8, after Hopkins' line.
I don't have that.
Okay, I'll read it. DeLuca gazes at the complex inventions, marveling.
Look at these. The detail, the genius.
Humankind might profit immeasurably.
Soldier number 4 approaches Hopkins hesitantly.
I can't hear you.
Sire, what should...
Hopkins moves something on a nearby drafting board, examines the soft vellum parchment stretched out there. Like a Da Vinci anatomic study, we see an intrinsically, detailed orthographic representation of Freddy Krueger's knife glove and Jason Voorhees' killing mask.
Burn it all to the ground. Raise it to the ground.
Flame, crackle up into flame, all around as we track slowly into the blueprint. Slamming rock music, OS, as we dissolve. Merrill, you have the script? You good?
I'm not with you yet. What page are you on?
Page 8.
Page 8.
All right.
Read it to cut to surveillance van day intercut.
Dissolve through exterior Elm Street, Belham, Virginia day. Bright sunlight filtering down through the bounds of trees. We crane down past a sign reading Elm Street. Hit a van in the foreground on a read of anonymous suburban storefronts. 2 captions fade up. The first reads, Bethlehem, West Virginia. And then the second one is replaced by December 1999. An innocuous-looking bookshop sits across the road. The sign above the door reading, Shaman Books. Right out front, a muscular Hell's Angel sits astride a gleaming Harley. A scantily clad biker babe faces him atop a gas tank. Legs wrapped around his waist. They're sucking some serious face.
What are you, grafted to him, lady? Just how much foreplay does this gorilla need anyway?
A tiny red dot flickers like an anxious firefly on the girl's dot. Suddenly, she moves. Legs still in place, she swings around him to ride Pillion. He guns the engine and they pull out.
Thank you.
Crowd goes wild.
Oh yeah, that's the Nelson one. All right, cool. The red dot settles on the bookshop window and speaker voice number 1. Who did I cast as that? I'll do it. This one's young. Through the bookshop window, we see 2 men in conversation. Meryl, can you read from here?
Yeah. Now what page are you on?
I'm on page 9 on the PDF. So it's cut to interior FBI surveillance van.
All right. You better keep going because I'm not finding you. I'm interior tactical room FBI headquarters.
Okay. Cut to FBI surveillance van day. A dumb stabbing at a button.
Fresh.
A stethoscope leaping onto high peaks.
Like a peach.
A laser mic beam slicing in from one-way van window.
Camera loves her.
Nestled high-tech equipment in the van's rear, James Jack, Renzor FBI agent extraordinaire. Grimy, unshavy, the toll of the days is takeout of cartons and styrofoam cups littered around him.
Yeah.
We can't hear you.
Yeah, I'll bet. You toxic sack of puke.
A video camera rolls quietly next to him. His cellular phone wobbles for attention. He reaches down, flips it on.
Agent Reznor, better be good.
All right, since I'm going to be in the scene, Meryl, can you read this? Cut to?
Interior surveillance van day intercut. Reznor thumbs an inset button on the camera, which illuminates a green transmit.
Wait, hold on. It's cut to interior tactical room, FBI headquarters.
Oh, you better keep going.
All right, Carolyn,
there
can you
you
read?
go. I got
Okay.
it. Okay. Interior tactical room, FBI headquarters day intercut. The printer next to Cobain's VDU whirs, spits out color stills from Reznor's camera.
Jack. It's Jack. Cut to?
That's the surveillance van day.
Okay. To the side of the video, Cam is an odd-looking CCD still camera. Renzer dumbs a remote plunger, takes a few shots. Can't hear you, Ryan.
Cobain, what's occurring? I expected your sorry ass hours back. Where are you?
Interior tactical room, FBI headquarters day intercut. Cobain watches the CNN forest fire disaster on a wall-mounted TV nearby.
With close to 400 miles of woodland incinerated, Canadian authorities seem powerless to halt the blaze.
Washington still. They pulled the pattern. Got me playing errand boy for some Vatican bigwig out to the airport. All right, interior surveillance van day. Renzer jacks a wire from still camera into the phone.
Shit. Well, look. Get him to say some Hail Marys. Things are shaking up here, just like we thought.
Interior tactical room, FBI headquarters day intercut. Cobain shifts in his seat, security alert. Snuff movies. All right, I guess I'll read it. All right, interior surveillance van day intercut. Renzer dumbs an inset button on the camera, which illuminates a green transmit.
Yeah. I'm punching when I got through. Speaking of things priestly, Paula says I should tell you, if you work me tomorrow night, your tush is excommunicated.
Oh.
All right. Anybody want to do stage directions? Carolyn, Meryl?
Go ahead, because I've got the wrong script here.
Interior.
Okay. Yes, thank you, Carolyn.
Tactical room, FBI headquarters, day, intercut. The printer next to Cobain's VDU whirs, spits out color stills from Reznor's camera.
I'll consider myself doomed.
They process your backup yet?
Hold on a second.
He cups the mouthpiece as somebody, FBI Agent 1, passes, tooting an extendable party whistle, rifles a tray of paperwork, finds a requisition sheet with a SWAT header. The co-signature is still blank.
Tanya, this SWAT request signature?
A pretty woman looks across from a nearby cubicle, shrugs.
Holiday cutbacks? Probably an oversight. Sorry, Cobain.
No change. Nice pictures. You get a bug in there?
Interior surveillance van day intercut.
Not a hope. You wouldn't believe the scanners these bozos use, running laser mic into their window.
Interior tactical room, FBI headquarters day intercut.
All right. What I'll do is, rush these to photo intelligence, dries down the second I'm Drew.
Interior surveillance van day intercut.
Deal. But Jack, give SWAT a push. I got a hunch that these stuccos are about to move.
Interior Tactical Room, FBI Headquarters, Day, intercut. Cobain replaces the handset, sits back, looks at the paperwork, thinks a moment, drags out a punch file marked SWAT and opens it. Finds an old requisition, glances around to make certain nobody's watching, and then copies the signature. A perfect forgery. The TV catches his eye again, another CNN disaster.
Our top story. A heated skirmish in international waters having Korea one frigate down. Japan has already been threatened with reprisals.
Somebody, FBI agent number 2, slows as he passes the TV.
Great way to end the century, huh?
World's going to hell in a handbasket.
He stabs at a remote, flips the channel to white static, which dissolves through to exterior plane of bones, hell, 0 hour. A downpour of horizontal rain against the dead gray sky. So subtle, we don't get it for a second, and then the shot rotates, tilts, swoops dizzyingly 100 feet. A lonely wind howls around a figure, face upturned, droplets spatter her face. We recognize her, Alice Johnson, last seen defeating Freddy Krueger in The Dream Child. She shivers, her eyes snapping open.
Where am I?
She's standing on a plain of bones and skulls stretching as far as the eye can see, rolling hills on the horizon. The low sky boils a seething, bubbling redness. A rumble like an unrushing freight train grows. She turns to see a singularity tornado of multicolored energy thundering towards her just 100 feet away, chewing up the landscape, sucking reality into it. It's breathtaking, and it sounds like all the noises in the world. Alice Bolt says as the world behind her crumbles, sucked mightily upwards. Her chest heaves, limbs working, then the ground quakes and erupts, throwing her off balance. She falls solidly amongst a flurry of splintering bones, looks up to see the singularity looming large, unstoppable. She screams.
No!
A great white explosion hurls her through the air like a rag doll. Her arms flail, and then she impacts hard with exterior, craggy, vertical, rack face, hell, 0 hour continuing. A roughly hewn dark granite pillar, perhaps 30 feet square, dropping vertiginously away thousands of feet below. She snatches a handhold and snaps away, falls on about a foot, grabs another, begins a labored ascent. Exterior apex of pillar, hell, 0 hour, continuing. Alice claws her way over the plateau edge, lies there, breathing heavily. A sibilant voice makes her jump. She stumbles to her feet, finds herself looking out across a plain as the tornado decimates it. No more bones here, a single arthritic tree claw upwards, and standing next to it, towers. Somebody, something, cloaked, a vicious bladed scythe clutched in one hand, a boa constrictor coiling around the haft. If we didn't know better, we might say it was the Grim Reaper.
Hello? Hello?
Alice's eyes widen as, with an eerie hiss, the figure turns towards her. But before we see the face, a variation on a familiar four-bladed claw curls disturbingly around her neck from behind. Slam cut to interior Alice's car, night. Jacob Johnson's, Alice's nervy 8-year-old son, yells out in panic from the passenger seat.
Break!
Alice jerks awake from her daydream at the wheel to see
Shit!
stationary traffic on the freeway ahead. Materializing at 40 miles per hour, she grips the wheel, mashes the brake pedal hard. Exterior freeway, Bethlehem, night. Alice's red Lexus skids through the puddles of rain, screeches to a halt inches from the car in front. Wider now, pulling back, her car a speck at the rear of the worst Friday night gridlock you can imagine. Interior, exterior, Alice's car, night. Alice sits hyperventilating, gray eyes wide. We get a better look at her now, smartly dressed, mid to late 20s, mid-length strawberry blonde hair, cute as a button. Her son stares accusingly at her from alongside.
Mom, you said you weren't tired.
No, I must have drifted.
You weren't dreaming again like before?
She gives him a look, ducks the loaded question, peers out through the rain-slicked windshield.
Look at this rain. Feels like it tailed us right from New Jersey.
She reaches down and flips the radio on, gets the news.
Radio newscaster?
Bizarre mass cult suicide at the Rio de Janeiro soccer stadium. 20,000 estimated dead.
You know, it's getting harder to find any uplifting news these days.
That's because it's the fin de sickle.
The what?
Fin de...
Fin de siècle.
Yeah, like when every century ends, everything goes totally nutso. Only this time it's worse because it's like a new millennium too.
Pretty slick. Where'd that come from?
French class. RT.
A rumble starts up, gaining intensity. A spring-mounted toy bird dangling from the rear view trembles. The car vibrates on its suspension, the engine cutting out.
Earthquake, wow, cool!
Their POV, people scrambling from their cars. A traffic sign ahead shakes. A freeway light swaying like a giraffe's neck.
Virginia doesn't get quakes.
Their gaze snaps across as a roadside fire hydrant blows, gushing water into the air. A high tension wire above snaps with a twang. Jacob yelling as,
Mom!
A sparkling cable hits their roof, hissing as it rides, searing the paintwork a couple of times before dropping to the roadside and becoming inert. The tremor abruptly ends. Alice grabs Jacob.
Geez, are you all right? Are you sure?
Yeah.
She flips the ignition. Nothing. Tries it again. This time, the engine grinds unpleasantly.
No.
What's wrong?
Our angel must be on a coffee break. Jake, honey, something's wrong. I'm going to have to pull off at the next ramp.
Somebody honks behind. The engine catches. Sounds unhealthy.
What did I say?
Yeah. Tell me about it.
Exterior Alice's car, night. We pull back on the livid electrical scars seared into the car's rooftop. Oddly, they resemble Freddy claw gouges. A mindful nursery rhyme tune tinkles delicately off screen as the Lexus pulls out onto the freeway turnoff. Cut to exterior street outside Freeman House, Bethlehem, night. Meet identical houses. Suburban Anywheresville, USA. A 15-foot illuminated neighborhood Christmas tree shines like a candy store beacon. Sheets of rain beat on telephone wires crossing the street, drip onto the tree, fizzing and flickering the bulbs. Interior living room, Freeman House, night. An 8-year-old blonde girl, Stephanie Freeman, eats a sandwich atop the back of a chaise lounge, face pushed against the misty window, stares wide-eyed at the tree as the tree flickers spastically across the street.
Daddy, the tree isn't working right.
She climbs down, wanders back into the living room. The television plays the Mask animated series noiselessly to itself in the background. She glances cursorily as it in passing. Interior kitchen, Freeman House, night continuing. Stephanie's parents, Steve and Jessica Freeman, are in mid-argument in the crammed kitchen. A disassembled car gearbox neatly laid out on the dining room table. Stephen is an odd blend of bookish and jock, his greasy work overalls partially unbuttoned. His wife is exceptionally pretty, at least she would be if she gave herself a chance. She seems tired. Long blonde hair tied back in a ponytail. Both are in their late 20s.
Stephen, you made a promise.
Yes.
New Year's, 1999, a fresh century. We always said we'd celebrate this one together regardless.
We will. Look, it'll be a fast pickup. Burn rubber first thing, get this guy sump, back in plenty of time. You, me, Steffi.
Ushering in the bright new future.
She turns away to wash some vegetables at the sink, her tone a mixture of cynicism and tired resignation. Stephen stops, frowns, puzzled and somewhat taken aback.
Right, what?
Stephanie appears at the doorway, interrupting the flow.
Oh, Daddy.
Look, I promised the guy. Am I missing something here?
Oh, not now, baby.
Stephanie
Can you fix the tree?
Stephanie picks the stick shift up from the table.
Which tree? Don't touch that pumpkin.
Distracted, Stephen takes it from Stephanie, replaces it. She wraps her arms around him, pouts petulantly.
Stephanie?
Sorry, my script is messed up too. Okay, sorry. Okay, hold on. Okay.
Page 18?
Over the park, the lights are all sparky. Look.
Steffi, Mom and Dad are yammering.
Police.
She jumps up and down. He ruffles her hair.
Weren't you watching TV?
TV's for squids.
Well, plumb the depths. I'll get there.
Okay.
Stephanie grudgingly leaves. Stephen laughs.
I swear that kid's intent on setting the whole world to rights.
Great. Have her start here.
Stephen's had it. Turns to her baffled.
All right. You gonna share into this little secret?
Which would be what?
You stomping about like a poster ad for Prozac.
Oh, pull a 360, Stephen. Take a wild stab.
Stephen looks wounded. This seems to be a fairly familiar routine.
Come on, Jess.
No, I've had it. I'm sick of I'm sick of clipping coupons and scrimping every cent. With bills up the yin-yang, I want to actually amount to something.
Pushing delete on one of America's Most Wanted wasn't enough for one lifetime?
It's been 8 years since we fried Jason Voorhees. 8 years. And what do we have to show for it?
We got the auto shop.
You seen our bank statements?
The recession. You know, it's temporary. We'll pull through.
Yeah, and it's always around the next corner. Stephen, we're sinking into a bottomless pit. I look at other families with lifestyles. We don't even manage a life. I spend most of my life under a car, up to my elbows in grease and swill, third-rate existence.
What do you want me to say? I'm all out of easy answers.
The message pager on Stephen's belt beeps annoyingly. He thumbs it off, squints at the display, looks abashed at Jessica.
It's a call out.
Jessica turns away, picks up the knife, chops mechanically at the vegetables like a Stepford wife.
You should go.
Jess.
No, do it. We can use the money.
Stephen leaves the kitchen uncertainly. We hear him call out,
Up for a ride, sweet thing?
You bet.
Don't forget your...
Jessica closes her eyes as the front door bangs, heaves a sigh, instant regret flooding her features.
Keys. God damn it, Jessica.
Cut to exterior Dulles International Airport, night. A big 747 comes in to land on a rain-swept runway. Interior arrival lounge, Dulles International, night. The terminal is packed with mostly bored passengers. Not even Bruce Willis and some hijackers to liven them up. Cobain sits on a passenger rotunda, an FBI file open on his lap. He yawns, goes to sip from his styrofoam cup. A fat businessman to his right turns the pages of his newspaper, catches Cobain's elbow. A great coffee splot stains his paperwork. Cobain shoots him an evil look.
Sorry, Paul.
Cobain catches sight of the newspaper headline, Astronomers Baffled Over Disappearing Stars. Reaches down, wipes away the mess. You see an attached front and right mugshot of a hatchet-faced guy who we recognize from Resner's surveillance shots, registered with an Interpol charrette stamp. From the corner of his eye, Cobain notices the old woman to his left reading the file.
Interesting read.
The woman looks hurriedly away. Cut to Shaman Books, Elm Street, night. An angle low on the rain-speckled sidewalk. The van's tire enters the frame. The door opens. A boot drops into shot. Interior surveillance van, night. A disheveled Resner drops a cigarette butt in his empty styrofoam cup. Opens his packet of Camels, empty. Glances out the window and does a double take. Sits up straight, instantly galvanized, snaps off a few more photographs.
What? A little late night browsing?
His POV across the road. A newly arrived van stands outside the store as a rain-coated man fumbles an adjacent yard good open. Resner watches as the van proceeds inside.
Bingo. Party, howdy time.
He upholsters his pencil. Thumb catches the slide. Exterior yard, Saman Books, night. Vertical crane shot. Looking down on the van as two figures in raincoats manhandle a struggling shape encased in a black body bag up through the fire exit at the rear of the bookshop. Exterior yard door, Saman Books, Elm Street, night. Rain plastering his hair, Resner sidles carefully up to the yard door, gun in hand. glances nervously around, puts his face to a gap in the fence, peers through.
Ah, shit!
He pulls out his cell phone, flips it open. Exterior turret, Shemaine Books, night. Narrow, lengthwise, rectangular windows glow soft yellow against the silhouette of the oddly medieval turret atop the bookstore. Lightning bursts throw it into sharp relief. We hear the tolling of a church bell on the soundtrack. Interior sacrificial chambers, Shemaine Books, night. A low angle, orbiting a strange inverted lightning rod suspended dead center in the circular chamber. Sculptured ceiling ribs curve outwards, forming Kabbalistic pillars lining the room. The saffron glow from hundreds of candles highlights diabolic imagery on the walls as the storm flashes through the windows high above. Malefic chanting.
Oh.
A wick is lit by one of several cloaked cultists milling around the room. An ancient grimoire with a sculpted cover, the Evil Dead Necrominicon, seen in the Voorhees house in Jason Goes to Hell, rests open on an open wooden podium. The lead cultist traces arcane runes as he anoints the tooled silver blade of an Aztec sacrificial machete with oils.
Rota dup sus rov nayala.
We track left as another cultist totes a set of ominous iron limb shackles. Linger in passing the video assist monitor of a mounted camcorder. It glitches to life, reveals an inverted wooden cross. We continue and end on the real thing, a 6 foot long and tilted at 40 degrees slant. A high rotating angle away from the cross to a symbol carved on the stone floor. We recognize it instantly as the Pentagon ruin from our Italian prologue. We hear a girl's shrieking voice from somewhere just outside.
Get your goddamn hands off me!
Exterior yard, Shemaine Books, night. Reznor drops down from the fence top. The ground on the yard side is slushy. He loses his balance, skids awkwardly. His cell phone falls into the mud. He picks it up, shakes the dirt from it, crosses to the van, peers quickly inside. Interior sacrificial chamber, Shemaine Books, night. Fast cuts. Chunky wrist clamps clunk into place. A spirited but obviously terrified dark-haired goth girl screams crazily as two cultists attempt to secure her legs to the top of a slanted cross. The others stand chanting in the shadows surrounding the room.
Cannar strata monfos.
The lead cultist, the same guy from Cobain's Interpol photographs, stands behind the Necromonicon podium.
Lord of Gehenna, keeper of the fallen spirits of darkness.
The girl lashes a long leg at one with the force of a Bruce Lee karate kick. As cultist number one slams back against the pillar, the cowl slips to reveal a woman priest with a clerical dog collar beneath.
Crazy freako psycho bastards, let me go!
Cultist number two enters, shot, wielding a high-tech stun rod, shoves it against her with a sharp ozone crack. The girl slumps back.
By the Abraham Mage, receive this lowly oblation as your own.
Another restraint clamps around the girl's throat. The chanting rises in pitch as her dress is ripped savagely away, revealing the bare chest beneath. A video cam monitor begins to glitch inexplicably. Interior yard, Shemaine Books, night. Reznor glances up. The thunderclouds above the store are seething into turmoil. He tries the fire exit, locked.
Perfect.
He pulls a lock-aid gun, a staple gun-like device from his coat pocket, squeezes the trigger. Thin protruding prongs whir and vibrate. He slides them into the key lock. Interior sacrificial chambers, Samain books, night. The chanting approaches fever pitch. The lead cultist, as Aztec machetes tip lightly between the girl's breasts, drawing a bead of blood, raises the blade to shoulder height as she stirs slightly and moans.
Hear these words of power. Barter this flesh and invoke your holy guardian, Nosferatus and Montos Thanos.
Wider now, across the room. As the precise moment he drives the blade down, we crab quickly left to the girl's face in the video monitor, howling in extreme close-up as the machete slams home, mercifully off-screen. The monitor picture starts to roll. Fast cut to interior yard, Samain books, night. Snap. Tight on Rasner's lock-aid gun and the twin prongs shear off the lock.
Shit. This never happens on TV.
He stumbles back into the yard, takes a look around as lightning flares above. Interior sacrificial chamber, Samain books, night. The girl's head slumps lifelessly back. Blood swells along channels carved into the cross, weeps over the edges, trickles onto the pentagon below. Disturbingly, the fluid moves of its own volition, heading in assorted directions along the carved gullies. The cultists register surprise and trepidation as the droplets accelerate and transform from matter into searing points of energy that race about the unholy symbol like a circuit board electron dance. A strange wind gusts through the place, guttering the candle slightly. The video cam monitor snows erratically as questing tendrils of power shoot up from the circle, arcing through the girl's body and shriveling her to a desiccated husk. Exterior, front of store, Samain books, night. Resnor's head snaps upward as exterior turret, Samain books, night. The heavens are rent asunder by a mighty crack. A bolt of lightning slashing down to course through the vein atop the bookshop, and interior sacrificial chamber, Samain books, night, cracking down from the inverted lightning conductor to the pentagon, which erupts, coalescing into a raging energy maelstrom. All the candles blow out simultaneously. Exterior, front of store, Samain books, night.
Holy fuck!
The turret windows shatter, gouting exhaust spumes of rolling orange fire. Resnor dives for cover as debris showers down.
Holy fuck!
Interior sacrificial chambers, Samain books, night. The energy tornado is a whirling vortex of red and green light, oscillating slightly, perhaps subliminally giving the idea that we might see Freddy Krueger. The cross has become energized, an incandescent mass. A blast wave hits it, blowing away the goth girl's ashen remains. Cultist number 3 on the periphery ignites, a human fireball. The lead cultist is snagged by the vortex power, the trim of his cowl catching fire. Both his skull and right arm glow from within, an unearthly molten orange. Exterior front of store, Samain books, night. Resnor raises his pistol squarely at the storefront window.
Can't hear you.
Blind, blind, blind,
He said,
blind.
screw reasonable cause.
Blam, 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 blam. A half dozen sounds star and implode the glass. Interior sacrificial chamber, Semaine Book's night. A shape forms within the tornado. A humanoid framework of veins suspend above the floor in a fetal ball, gaining solidity each moment. Mass panic. Cultist number 4 tries to bolt. An energy ribbon lashes out and burns a hole through him. The jaw of a transfixed lead cultist opens in a silent scream, his white out skull. The humanoid shape is solid now, electrical crackles zapping about it. The vortex suddenly implodes, and a burst of light tosses the lead cultist ferociously backwards. His face sheared away and corduroyed. The Aztec machete spins into the air as the remainder of the vortex explodes and dissipates. The video cam monitor rolls back towards normality, and a fast cut as chunky construction boots with black chrome shin guards slam down onto the reformed Pentagon as the machete pirouettes down and a hand sporting fingerless open back biker glove whips out from nowhere. Enormous figures curling around the grip, and then whoosh, a blade immediately cleaves through the air upwards. The throat of cultist number 5 produces a scream, which is interrupted as he is decapitated in a fast video monitor insert. We get a speedy scanline glimpse of Jason Voorhees killing mass powering across the frame. But like we've never seen before, still a hockey goalie, but now dark chrome with angular facets. Terrifying. A regular slasher Darth Vader. Interior window display. Semaine Bookshop night. Resnor knocks in some dangerous glass shards, inadvertently toppling a skeleton window display. He clambers over the frame and into the store, his shoe coming down to crush the delicate plastic skull.
It's terrible.
Interior sacrificial chamber, Semaine Book's night. Cultist number 6 shrieks in terror as Jason's foot slams down, mulching his head to puree. Jason's head snaps around as cultist number 7 is there with a battle cry, wielding a sacrificial dagger.
Morituri amorinate!
Bunk! A dagger sinks up to the hilt in Jason's torso. Jason glances calmly down. A moment's hesitation. The man freezes. Then Jason impales him cleanly with his machete. Jason pitches back with the dagger protruding as cultist number 1 catches him unawares, garroting him with the sacrificial restraint chain. Jason relinquishes his grip on the machete, and cultist number 7 reels toward the pillar, gurgling. Jason staggers blindly, knocking the video cam tripod over. Rain spattering, the dark chrome mask through the breached roof above. He claws ineffectively at the chains that cultist number 1 uses her mask to lever him back. And cultist number 2 charges Jason to the front with a crackling stun rod. Cultist number 1 shrieks out in pain as the conductive charge zaps through Jason's body and along the chains. Cultist number 2 twists the tip deeper into Jason's stomach. Jason slams the woman back against the stone pillar, crushing her. He simultaneously seizes the man's shoulders and yanks him bodily forward. The stun rod spearing cultist number 2's chest and passing cleanly through him. Cultist number 2's screaming face is a matter of inches from the chrome faceplate as Jason plants a ferocious headbutt on him, then tosses him aside like a rag doll. As cultist number 1 sinks down behind him, Jason extracts the sacrificial dagger from his rib cage and tosses it to the ground. Turns to cultist number 7, alive and whimpering against another pillar, with a machete protruding, and stalks murderously towards him. Interior stairwell, Semaine Brooks, night. Resner takes the landing stairwell 2 stairs at a time. Down below, we see the orderly shelves that make up the small but cluttered store. As he reaches the top, smash! Resner flinches, half ducks as the door leading to the turret ahead splinters wide apart. Cultist number 7's corpse, whizzing through the air. It cracks through the banisters, plummets down into the store, bouncing off a bookshelf and coming to rest below. Resner gapes.
Jesus!
A dark silhouette steps forward from the shadow. Resner raises his pistol. Weaver stands.
FBI, right where you are, Twinkle Toes.
Resner gets a good look at lightning as lightning reflects from the chrome killing mask through the skylight immediately above. The jetpack boiler suit, the dark liquid trickling along the Aztec machete's ruin-carved blade.
Drop the toothpick, buddy.
Jason ignores him, strides malevolently forward. Resnor clicks his pistol's safety catch.
One warning only. Do it.
Jason raises the blade threateningly, and Resnor lets him have it, shot after shot. Jason lurches each time the bullets hit him. Resnor's eyes bug at the lack of effect. The machete swishes down, burying itself in the broken banister rail. Resner feints to the right, avoids the swing by millimeters, loses his footing on the ledge and slips, tumbling down into the store. Conveniently, the prone corpse of cultist number 7 cushions Resner's fall, but his head bangs against something, knocking him out cold. We finish tight on Resner's head. Chromed construction boots stomp past on their way out into the night. Exterior, Semaine Books, night, aerial matte shot. Tight on the video cam monitors showing a skewed angle of a cultist's face, staring slightlessly. Pull back to reveal a God's eye angle looking 270 degrees vertically down at the bookstore. The shattered turret is in immediate foreground, pockets of guttering flame in the rafters here and there. Through the rent in the roof, we see part of the Pentagon and various scattered cultists' bodies. Approaching police sirens rise in volume off screen. Far below, we note the tiny figure of Jason Voorhees casting a huge shadow as it stalks purposely away into the darkness. Cut to exterior blacktop roadside, Bethlehem, night, crane shot. Rain is coming down in sheets still. The breakdown truck, with Voorhees 24-hour motors markings, is pulled at the roadside. A guy in overalls and an all-weather jacket has his head under the open hood of Alice's Lexus, just up front. Interior Alice's car, night. Alice watches as the guy drops the hood, splashes around to the driver's side. She thumbs a control, the window whirs down, and we see Stephen Freeman's face.
So what do I owe you?
I wish it were that simple.
What is it?
Well, contacts are fine, battery's got a charge, so it's not electrical. Oil's good, something with the gas mix maybe, might even be the engine.
Oh God.
I could put it through the shop overnight. You could drop by tomorrow.
Alice shoots a worried look at Jacob asleep in the back seat.
No, I'm not. Well, I don't live around here. We were driving back to Ohio.
Stephen scratches his head. Thinks.
Well, you certainly have a problem. I could maybe give you guys a ride. Some reasonable motels just down off the blacktop.
Time of year? This year?
I know some people. Friends in low places, you know?
Thanks. Whatever. Anything I can get has to be better than sleeping here, I guess.
Cut to interior arrival lounge, Dulles International night. Close on the second hand of Cobain's wristwatch. It's ticking incredibly loud. Wider now, Cobain's still sitting on the rotunda. His eyes are heavy, head drooping. He catches himself, repeats this once, twice. The Tanoia announcement slurs and fades out off screen, and he wakes back to consciousness, suddenly fully refreshed. His gaze comes up, not really focusing on anything. His POV looking around, flurries of people hurrying to their destination, suddenly speeding up and blurring into one. We hear the Tanoia off screen, quickly garbled spurts, a gap appearing in the crowd to reveal a woman in a nun's habit. We recognize her as Amanda Krueger, Freddy's deceased mother. She does a quarter turn, stares directly at Cobain. Cobain frowns, straightens, hears a great echoing mechanical clank, and looks up to see the airport wall clock go backwards from 12:40 to 12:39. He glimpses down to his wristwatch. The second hand is running backwards too. Cobain returns her gaze, finds himself standing inside. Interior church void dream sequence. An area of light bounded by impenetrable shadow. The stone floor scattered with autumnal leaves, a dais ahead. Standing on it before a vertical stained glass window is Amanda, white doves fluttering about her. The giant sensors we saw in the Italian prologue whoosh back and forth between her and Cobain, preventing him from getting any closer. She locks her gaze to him. He glances nervously left and right into the shadows before returning it.
The time of darkness falls upon you all. You must choose a true path.
She convulses, doubling over, hands clutching her chest. 4 great bloody rips stain her robe's white frontispiece. Freddy claw marks. Cobain makes moves forward. And Amanda's head snaps up, hideously transformed into a skeletal death mask. Before Cobain can react, Amanda evaporates into a spectral wake and disappears. A weird, exaggerated clack noise is off screen. Interior arrival lounge, Dulles International night. The noise jerks Cobain back into reality. It was a dream, a weird nightmare. A group of black youths are standing off to one side, incongruously playing a nin song loudly on their boombox. Cobain looks up as the status of all the flights on the arrivals board noisily changed to delayed. Cut to exterior airspace night. Lightning erupts as a DC-10 battered by storm clouds. Interior club class compartment, DC-10 night. Nervous passengers are shaken about in the half-full compartment, many vomiting into bags. The internal lights flicker wildly. Halfway back sits Pontiff Manfredini, 50s, plump, mustachioed, anxiously clutching a black leather briefcase to his chest. He fumbles awkwardly at the cap of a pill bottle as a great blast of turbulence sends it spinning from his grip. It hits the deck, bursts open, spilling tablets, rolls down the aisle. A stewardess stops its progress, smiles at Manfredini as she swiftly replaces the pills.
I hear you.
Having a little trouble there, Pontiff?
Manfredini grimaces apologetically, speaks in a broken Italian accent.
I'm sorry. I don't know. I don't travel well.
Just like a good wine, huh?
His attempt at a smile fades with another jolt of turbulence.
That cabinet bathroom.
She turns, looks back down the aisle. An illuminated sign changes to occupied as an ailing passenger lurches inside.
Heavy traffic. Look, there's another cubicle back down that way if you chew in on your knuckles.
See, yes, thank you.
Interior passageway, DC-10 night. Manfredini is rocked against a wall as the plane is buffeted. Interior toilet, DC-10 night. Manfredini enters the cubicle, closes the door behind him and turns to find himself in a church confessional box. The latch schnicks into place, all of its own volition. Manfredini recoils, sits down heavily. The walls are paneled wood, startles as sickly green lights blast through the latticework separator.
Father, it's 5 billion years since my last confession.
Manfredini looks around in a panic as the walls compress quickly inward and the floor drops away. He pitches forward, palms pressing against the walls as malevolent laughter echoes. Flames lick up from the bottomless pit, searing at his legs like a flamethrower, as the red and green pew, his only leverage, tilts away beneath him. He falls awkwardly, screaming. Interior passageway, DC-10 night. And rockets back through the toilet door, slamming hard against the passageway wall. He slumps, staring at the swaying door for a moment, listening to the creaky hinges. His head jerks around at a faint sound further down the compartment. A children's nursery rhyme. He hears an oily squeak some way down in the rear of the plane. Stares 50 feet back to see a 5-year-old girl in a white dress cycle into the aisleway on a 3-wheeled trike. Looks directly at Manfredini, giggles mischievously.
Hey!
1, 2, Freddy's coming for you.
She turns the trike wheel and cycles rapidly off.
No! Wait!
As Manfredini makes to follow, we notice the shadow of 4 giant claws moving on the wall behind him. Interior second passenger compartment, DC-10 night. Manfredini enters the next compartment, stops in horror, crosses himself. The occupied seats contain frazzled skeletal passengers, their clothes and bones steaming slightly.
God, have mercy.
3, 4, better lock your door.
Manfredini summons up his resolve as he hurries toward the source of the sound. Another angle behind Manfredini. Massive legs enter over camera, gunfighter style. 4 enormous blades idle into frame, intricately etched, but shot through with rust and corrosive pitting. The tarnished chrome catches the light. Interior third passenger compartment, DC-10 night. Manfredini's face registers bewilderment as he enters the compartment. The seats have changed into wooden pews. Each of the window portals a small square of stained glass. Autumnal leaves dusting around. The trike lies overturned on the floor, a spoke rear wheel still spinning. As the pontiff crouches to halt it, a sporadic strobe flash from the front of the aircraft backlights into a hulking figure somewhere behind it. An enormous torso filling the passageway and then some, 24-inch scimitar-like claws curving down from its right hand.
Where are you?
Manfredini startles as the in-flight movie projector starts up conveniently. Scene 67 of Wes Craven's New Nightmare.
It's old, very old, and it's taken different forms in different ages. The only thing that stays the same about it is what it lives for.
Jacob?
Shouldn't.
Yeah,
You shouldn't be here.
Manfredini looks around, sees Jacob standing across the aisle, looking at him with puzzlement.
What's that?
How? Where is this place? The girl?
We hear the dream girl's giggles from somewhere off screen.
5, 6, grab your crucifix.
Quick, get away. You have to wake up.
Wake up!
An enormous ripping sound fills the air as huge Freddy claws gash cross-sectionally through the hull between them.
Wes?
Oh.
That's you, Tasha.
Where are we?
PDF page 34.
Slaughtering innocents?
Right.
Yes.
Slaughtering innocents.
The aircraft hull rends apart, sliced in half. Exterior airspace night, optical continuing. The DC-10's tail shears away as Manfredi plunges hundreds of feet towards camera and certain death. The trike tumbling alongside.
No!
Exterior apex of pillar, hell, 0 hour, continuing. Wham! Manfredi slams right through the barbed stake, impaling him brutally. The trike kicks up a dust cloud as it hits the ground in the foreground. A reverse angle as the pontiff moans, grasping feebly at the bloody spike. A grim reaperous figure with a scythe looming over him. Beyond, we see the vast energy tornado towering over all as it approaches inexorably. Interior club class compartment, DC-10, night, back to reality. An agitated passenger tries to hold a bucking and straining Manfredini. Blood seeps around the edge of his attaché as the stewardess tries to pry it away. The pontiff's face is bright purple. His eyes are bulging. Various passengers crowd around, ghoulishly watching. It's almost as if he were being dragged into the air.
Can't hear you.
Hold him down. Keep him down.
I'm trying.
A second stewardess stands behind, grinding tablets against Manfredini's clenched teeth. A second passenger comes into shot waving a plastic spoon.
Get this between his teeth.
As the stewardess yanks the case away, we hear a crunch, and a blossom of blood erupts from Manfredini's chest. Jump cut to exterior road, blacktop motel, night. The Bories motor truck is parked at the roadside. Alice's Lexus up on the back ramps. A garish neon of the nearby motel sizzles in the sheet rain. Interior cab, Stevens pickup truck, night. The wipers schnick as Stephen stares out through the drizzle-specked windshield. Stephanie is next to him, tearing pieces of orange peel and aiming them at Jacob's sleeping face in the rear. He turns, catches her in the act.
Come on, knock it off, Steph. Kids beat.
Stephanie complies, at least until Stephen looks away. She rips off another piece, flicks it at Jacob's cheek. And Jacob bolts awake, screaming like a banshee. Stephanie screeches back, caught unawares. Stephen galvanizes into action, stretching over the seat to Jacob.
It's him.
Whoa, hey, hold the phone.
He killed the man.
You had a nightmare.
No, I saw him with his claws.
Claws?
The sudden clunk of the passenger side door unlocking makes them jump. Stephanie budges over as Alice leaps in, soaked.
I don't believe it. This is beginning to feel like nailing Jell-O to the door.
No luck?
No room at the inn. Again.
She pauses, recognizes an intense atmosphere in the cab.
Is everything okay?
Mom, it's the Sandman.
What?
It's Freddy Krueger.
Alice goes still, feels a sudden chill at the name. Cut to close on Manfredini's face. A zipper comes up over it.
It's the damnedest thing.
Wider now, exterior apron, Dulles International night. The rain has stopped. Blue ambulance strobe lights the scene. Prominently displaying his FBI clip tag, Cobain stands with an airport cop watching the gurney containing the pontiff's body bag being loaded into an ambulance.
Paramedics say they've never seen anything like it. Massive internal hemorrhaging punched right through his rib cage. No apparent cause. Vatican's already laying on a special flight back for the body.
Cobain shakes his head, glances over at the sobbing stewardess telling her story to some more cops.
How's the cabin staff?
Its brown trousers and bug eyes are airline regs. I'd hazard they're peachy.
He reads the china pencil writing on a big-handled poly bag containing Manfredini's case and a number of loose personal effects. Hands it over to Cobain.
Manfredini? What did this Goomba do?
Pope's special envoy.
No shit. Anyhow, it's all there, tagged and bagged. Expect you boys settle the pencil pushing.
Yeah, story of my life.
Interior Cobain's car, airport night. The poly bag lies on the passenger's side, the attaché on top. Cobain opens a brown leather pouch in his hand, gingerly pulls out a plastic exhibition sheath. Inside is a worn, edge-burnt piece of parchment, the Freddy gloves and Jason mask illustration from the Italian prologue.
Wait, what the Sam hell is this about?
Cobain's cell phone wobbles for attention. He flips it open.
Yep, Cobain.
Cut to interior cab, Stephen's pickup truck night. Jacob seems troubled, staring out of the window. The radio plays some music at low volume. Stephen drives Alice in silence while the kids are bonding in the back.
Nice car.
Thanks, company.
Yeah? What do you do?
I'm a legal rep for a record company.
Ever meet any stars?
Oh, no. Long hours. You keep your head down. Though Alice Cooper once held a lift door open for me.
Cool. So what's your husband think of it?
No, Dan died before Jake was born.
Oh, sorry.
In the rear, Stephanie flips through Jacob's superhero trading cards.
Stephanie?
Wow, Spawn. Who'd you reckon win Spawn if Spawn fought the mask?
I don't know, Spawn, I guess. But it'd be dumb. It was done wrong because they're from different universes and you gotta have a proper story to make it work.
Stephen hears the conversation, grins slightly. Alice catches his eye, smiles, then looks away.
Kids.
I know.
Alice tries hard, thinks of some conversation.
So, Voorhees Motors. Is this you?
Not exactly. My wife started up the business with some money we came into a while back. We work it together. Voorhees Motors will slash your prices.
Stephanie laughs out loud in the rear. Alice looks on in bewilderment.
I'm sorry, I don't.
Oh, it's a kind of a family joke.
Another silence. Stephen breaks it next.
Listen, I don't want to pry, but this Freddy
Krueger. It's nothing. Just an old bad dream.
A dream?
Jacob catches Alice's quick look in the rearview mirror.
It's not something that we talk about anymore.
Oh, okay.
Exterior driveway, Freeman House. The pickup backs into the driveway, stops. A sloping ramp leads down to the door of the basement auto shop. Everybody climbs down from the cab.
Last stop, Shadow Freeman.
Pools of yellow light illuminate the forecourt.
Security lights. Never be too careful.
Jacob stares delightedly at the big Christmas tree.
Mom, we've got a real tree.
Pretty neat. This is really generous. I don't want to be a burden.
Don't worry. Jessica's pretty much the understanding type.
Interior kitchen, Freeman House night. Jessica's dressed in a white, oversized men's flannel robe, pinched from a hotel somewhere. She hisses at Stephen, clearly unhappy.
Nuts? What were you thinking?
Jess, the motels were all full.
She could be some crazed axe murderer.
Jessica's point of view, the living room. Jacob looks around as Alice hefts a chunky Samsonite suitcase.
Charlie Manson's secret love child? She's a lawyer or something.
Figures, the worst types.
Be reasonable, Jess. What was I supposed to do? Leave him there stranded on the interstate?
Yes!
Stephen tries to be placating, cups her hips with his hands.
Her car needs work. Think of it as an investment. Money in the bank. Just one night.
One night?
One night, I promise.
Her arms come up, slide around his neck.
I swear, my karma sucks. I get myself married to Crystal Lake's last Boy Scout.
He grins. Alice appears at the kitchen door, a little embarrassed at interrupting.
I'm sorry.
Oh.
Sorry. Hi.
Hi.
Alice Johnson.
Jessica sticks her hand out, shakes it.
Jessica Freeman.
I just wanted to say thanks. You know, there's not a lot of people out there who do something like this for a complete stranger.
No, that's really the least we could do.
Might think I was, like an axe maniac or something.
She catches the look from Stephen, but doesn't comment.
No, never even entered my mind.
I'll help you with your bags. Show you and Jake downstairs.
Great.
She smiles at Jessica, leaves, and Jessica looks after her.
Carolyn.
Cut to interior police helicopter, night. Tight on the thermograph screen, an aerial view of cars and buildings reduced to hot and cold colors. The chatter of rotoblades off screen. Wider now, a police thermograph operator peers at the monitor alongside the pilot.
3 David 15, 2 blocks west of Miller. We have an unresolved anomaly your vicinity. Warehouse alleyway. Over.
Cut to interior police cruiser, night. A police cruiser with 2 cops on patrol, Reese and Foley. Reese clicks his radio handset, swivels the door lamp towards an alleyway ahead.
Ariel, we're on it. Give us some air cover.
Affirmative.
Exterior alleyway, night. Reese is backlit by the cruiser lamp at the mouth of the alleyway. Beretta 9mm drawn. He ventures forth, passes the overhang of a fire exit, swings his own flashlight across the trash-strewn floor. The chopper clatters off screen, an intense cone of light stabbing down. Reese startles.
Oh, crap.
Insert, close on the floor, dozens of rats swearing around his agitated feet.
Ariel, you might want to inform pest control. Other than that, it's a negative on your perp. Over.
Roger, that we will keep on looking. Out.
The chopper spotlight sweeps on over, and as it does, we see Jason Voorhees standing in the shadows. Slats of light glimmering through the fire exit onto the chrome mask just inches behind Reese. The Aztec machete raises inexorably to deliver a killing blow. But Reese simply walks back to the police cruiser, cheating death by seconds. Different angle close on Jason. The steel mask turns to track the cop. A stray shaft of light reveals its edge fizzing slightly. Tiny blobs of molten chrome dripping away, as if the mask were corroding. Cut to interior basement bedroom, Freeman House, night. A stepladder, a bunch of boxes, and numerous odds and ends clutter up a small utility room. Jacob sits on the edge of the single bed, arguing with Alice as she unpacks.
Mom, I can take the chair.
Get it, Squirt. You need your sleep. This isn't about that dream.
Just not tired.
Jake. He isn't coming after us again. Fred Krueger is no threat to anybody. I canceled his ticket a long time ago.
I saw him on the airplane. He was just like the stories the kids tell at school with the claws. Only...
What?
He was bigger, Mom. Real bigger.
Cut to exterior, front of store, Samhain Books, sunrise. Resner sits atop a gurney, swatting away the attention of a paramedic. His arm in a splint, he smokes a cigarette with his free hand. We see tread marks of fresh blood on the concrete sidewalk left by those leaving the store. Emergency vehicles are parked haphazardly out front. Yellow and black OSHA-type sections, the area off from the onlookers who are beginning to gather. Cobain ducks under it, clutching his FBI files, flashes his badge to a duty cop. A TV crew on the sidelines tries to grab his attention.
Come on, officer. Last chance for prime time this century.
He ducks them, heads for Resner, juggling his cellular with one hand while smoking with the other.
Paula, I'm fine. A noggin bump. I'll survive.
He has a coughing fit as Cobain reaches him.
Hey, you know those things will kill you.
You're hilarious. No, Jack. You just got here. Yeah. Bye. What took you?
Resner lowers the phone, dabs at his forehead, eases himself up. Cobain stares up at the soldering turret.
Long story. Jeez. What'd you do? Pull a bazooka?
Another gurney is carried out from the building, a black body bag atop it.
Anyone ID those wackos?
Cobain passes him, tosses the file on top of the body bag.
Here, mix and match.
They reach the store's front door. A black outfitted SWAT leader storms over, waving a paper sheet in Cobain's face.
Anybody can come on and SWAT leader.
Hey, Cobain, you know anything about this?
Hi, Lee.
Some asshole faked my signature on a record form. My guys were dragged out of bed at 1 in the morning.
Yeah, you did a great job. Hey, by the way, I hate to think what would have happened if you had made it.
Interior, main store, Samhain Books, sunrise. Continuing. Dawn filters through the shattered window as they pass amongst the bookshelves.
So Interpol came up. Aces on the photographs. Guy called Carswell from England. Fulci from Italy. Etc., etc., etc. Turned out these guys were some sort of Malarian nihilistic sect.
Resner shucks off the splint, casts it aside.
Let's hear it for the forces of irony.
Interior, sacrificial chamber, Samhain Books, sunrise. Wham! A police photographer's flash gun goes off. Victim chalk marks are all around. One has an irregular puddle where the head should be. Another has its heat drawn yards from the body.
Holy freeman.
Yeah, invite a few pals around for a little harmless human sacrifice. Look what happens.
Cobain takes a look around, notices the room, sees the Pentagon.
I'm telling you, Jack, whoever it is, this guy's an elemental force of nature. Iced 8 of them, all out cold. I pumped half a clip into him. Zip effect.
Cobain pauses at the cross, runs his finger through some ashes there, the flaky remains of the goth sacrifice.
Kevlar, most likely. Any leads?
Spotters, all over. Running operations out of Bethlehem PD.
Good. Have the locals roll up the red tape. Put it in a drawer until this is over.
Cobain looks around at the shattered roof, spots a technician placing the Colt's camcorder into an evidence bag.
We actually got a recording?
Grandstand seats. The name, Jason Voorhees. Jog any gray cells?
Sure. Required reading at the academy. Bundy, Damar, Damer. Can't even speak. Myers. Up there in the Pentagon of all-time sickos. Our guys DX'd him. What? Yeah, years back.
I think we got us a copycat, right? Our perp had the same MO. Machete, hockey mask, the works.
Cobain freezes on Resner's words.
Hockey mask.
Yeah. What?
Yeah.
Cobain looks carefully around, drops his voice.
Look, let's talk somewhere. There's some very disturbing synchronicity shit going down here.
Cut to interior basement bedroom, Freeman House, morning. Morning light filters in. Alice sits in the chair, a blanket across her legs. Dark rings circle her eyes. As she watches Jacob on the bed, he gives a gentle snore. She picks up her travel clock from the side. It reads 7:20.
Finally.
Interior, exterior, basement auto shop, Freeman House, morning. Shelves line the walls, filled with auto parts. An old Pontiac raised on a ramp above the grease pit. An engine block dangles from chains nearby. Jessica has her head under the Lexus hood, hands buried beneath, within the engine bowels. A boombox on the workbench plays energetic, thumping rock.
Now, what do we have here?
Handheld, moving in towards Jessica's back, threatening. We get the feeling she's about to meet an untimely end as... Wham! Steven swipes her fanny with an auto map. Jessica jumps, yelps, her head banging on the hood.
Yeah.
He swipes the oil rag from her back pocket, thwaps it jokingly at her.
Oh, goddamn, that isn't funny.
He puts his hands on her hips, kisses behind her ear.
You know, first time I ever saw you, you were bending over a crate of Gatorade at Joey B's. Know what I thought?
She twists around to face him, drapes her arms around his neck, slow smile.
Hell.
You'd probably blow it when you turned around.
She thumps him, playfully affronted.
Pinhead, I hate you.
That's so.
No. You heading off?
Steven crosses to the exit, takes his coat from a hook.
Yeah, I want to hit Pittsburgh quick. Beat that millennial gridlock.
Well, Watch yourself. Be a lot of rush hour Rambos out.
I'll be sure to pack a machete. Sorry, you gonna do that church thing later?
I promised Father Shea already. If you miss me, I'll drop Steppy over with Rachel.
Right. You know, you really should secure this.
The grease pit hydraulic controls hang loosely overhead on the end of the cable. Stephen grabs it, stows it on a wall clip.
Stephen?
Uh-huh.
I do love you. I know it'll work out okay.
Stephen winks at her, throws the oil rag back. Jessica catches it deftly.
Never doubted it at all. Hey, be a good girl. I'll take you to the firework display tonight.
Oh, promises, promises.
Interior, kitchen, Freeman house, morning. A boiling kettle steams up the window. Alice stands in a robe, stares outside, an air of loneliness about her. Her point of view, Jessica kisses Stephen goodbye at the pickup's open door. Interior, bathroom, Freeman house, morning. The bathroom is tiled, cramped, old-fashioned. A Heath Robinson plumped shower against the wall. A cream-colored plastic curtain hangs on the rail. In fast cuts, Alice tastefully loses her robe. Steps into the shower, turns on the faucet, perhaps teasing our audience by emulating the Psycho shower scene. We end on a fatigued Alice resting her forehead against a pipe. The edge of the shower curtain moves suddenly as if caught in a breeze, tight on an angle on part of the material as it undulates, dimples. Interior, exterior, basement auto shop, Freeman house, morning. Alice's Lexus is up on a low portable ramps now. Jessica lies on a mechanic's trolley beneath. She forces something with a wrench. It slips, clattering out from her grip. Interior, exterior, basement auto shop, Freeman house, morning. Alex's Lexus is up on... Oh.
Oh, it repeated there.
It repeated.
Ow! Damn it!
She leans her head back, closes her eyes briefly. Cut to interior, bathroom, Freeman house, morning. Alice's breathing is shallow, head bowed, eyes closed. Water cascades across her naked shoulders. The material of the shower curtain behind her stretches into one of the new Freddy claws, morphing to a full length of 18 inches. A second emerges, a third, a fourth, flexes. Close on Alice, same position, still oblivious. As a bump the size of a pumpkin bulges like a vac-form mold high up on the curtain. A head, an angle close on Alice, a great mass rising behind her. A vertical angle, looking straight down, a hulking form swelling impossibly out of nowhere from the curtain. A fast circular dolly from one side of the shower to the other, as mighty thewed arms stretch out to encompass Alice. Tight on Alice's head, the claws enveloping it, a tiny movement, preparation to crushing her skull, and whomp, 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 whomp. The shower plumbing rattles noisily, the water flow drying up, jouncing Alice back to consciousness. The ersatz plastic form behind her collapses back into nothingness. And Alice turns to see a plain plastic shower curtain, billowing slightly in an unnerving fashion. She takes a breath, a little unsure. Tiny water droplets plink, plink away down into the drain. Cut to interior, exterior, basement auto shop, Freeman house, morning. Resume. Tight on oil droplets plopping on the floor. Jessica's still under the Lexus, struggling with the protesting nut.
Damnation.
Oil speckles her face as she shifts positions to gain better purchase. Jessica brushes her cheek. It comes off, a black smudge. The spattering increases as she pulls harder on the wrench. She swats in annoyance at it, streaking her hand in a long red smear.
What the?
A vibration starts up. The car juddering atop the ramps. That's a siff in an earthquake. Jessica panics.
Shit!
She kicks the trolley rapidly away as one of the ramps collapses, the Lexus part, rolling part collapsing back down onto her thighs, pinning her to the floor. She screams in pain, pulling at her trapped leg. We see blood trickle out from beneath the vehicle. At this stage, perhaps we even think it's Jessica's own. Vapor billows around the edge of the hood as she tries to tear her limb back, the car shaking and rattling like a possessed beast. Note, this will be shot in reverse, so the steam will appear to flow into the hood from nowhere. Jessica's leg comes free, deep gouges tearing into her coverall. She pulls herself away, whimpering as a sheet of blood emerges, spreads, her jaw working in disbelief. Another vertical angle, dark liquid is expanding on all sides. The hood rocks and judders, thick smoke now. Jessica steels herself, limps forward, slips on the slick gore, her hand coming down on the hood and looses an agonized cry. The flesh of her palm sears as if touching a griddle, a noise like sizzling bacon, and the hood springs up, yanking Jessica with it. A vacuum roars below, her free hand flailing as it tries to suck her down into Freddy's hellish furnace, impossibly positioned way below where the engine should be, feeder pipes belching. The filthy grating doors open, flames roaring. Then,
no!
A blast of superheated air sends her flying, splashing down onto the floor. The hood slams back down. We see why. The massive new Freddy claw embedded in it, a malformed hand going out of frame. There's a deep growl off screen. A great shadow looms across Jessica. She looks up, gasps, and interior, basement, auto shop, morning, back to reality. Jolts awake with a low cry beneath the car again. Jessica gathers herself and there's a flash of silvered metal. Something half lodged up in the chassis swings down at her, a quick impression of an edged blade. And Jessica cries out as she propels the trolley back out into the auto shop. And Alice is standing there, coffee mugs in her hands. Jessica yelps in surprise. Alice yelps back, drops one of the mugs. It shatters on the floor.
Jesus!
Oh God, I'm so sorry.
You scared the lights out of me.
I brought coffee.
Normally I take it in a cup.
They look at each other, both laugh, a bonding moment. Cut to interior Bethlehem Police Department, morning. Wide on a busy and brightly lit open plan precinct. Usual cop stuff going on, the occasional criminal and hooker being dragged off to a holding pen. We see Cobain and Resner within the captain's cubicle, smack in the middle, a perfect glass building block. Hear the sacrificial incantation again, off screen.
Lord of Gehenna, keeper of the fallen spirits of darkness.
Inside the cubicle now, close on a video monitor, we see the goth girl thrashing around on the cross.
Crazy freaking psycho bastards, let me go!
The contents of Manfredini's pouch are spread across the table, the men sifting through it. Resner turns to the pages of the Necronomicon, stares at the indecipherable runes.
I can't understand Diddly Squad.
They could.
Resner picks up the sheathed Italian parchment in his hand, shakes his head.
A hockey mask. This is one big fucking coincidence. You want to turn that down? It's giving me a headache.
Cobain's inspecting a somewhat plain dagger resting in a plush wooden velvet travel case. In fact, on one of the Horvath daggers from the Italian prologue. He complies, thumbs the TV volume lower, nods at the drawing.
Recognize that claw?
Hey, apart from the nope.
The Springwood slasher, Frederick. Krueger, child killer.
Yeah. Wait, I remember. Misfit with the Bew Brummel complex?
Yeah, the same. Carved a sweat through a little Ohio town a bunch of years back. Literally. Vigilante group torched him after the cops gummed up the arrest papers. Our dead Essica's got it all here in black and white.
He throws a clip of sheets over to Resner.
Yeah. His mother was a missionary. None of something. Yeah?
None?
What?
Nothing. Skip it.
Resner's forehead knits as he studies the parchment.
You're talking about current events. This sucker's supposedly over 300 years old.
He waves it in emphasis. His attention distracts as the cultist recording whites out in a burst of static.
Shit. Wonder why it glitches there.
Wait a minute. Manfredi had the whole rundown on the bookstore cult too. Lots of the other weird stuff, the Fatima prophecies, the Kali Yugi, a great conflation meant to destroy the known universe?
In that case, you're gonna love this.
He holds up another 8x10 for Cobain. Before and after, astronomical shots. Stars against velvet blackness.
Jet Propulsion Lab, Hubble Space. Telescope, NASA say the outermost stars are disappearing. No one knows why.
Cobain makes a face, continues reading.
Creepy. Huh. Something about oh my god, I'm gonna butcher this. Enconchian myth. Lucifer in the eternal contest for human souls. Notes too about what about Chippewa India's called the Great Purification, hurricanes, land upheavals, Earth's magnetic pole switching polarities around. This look familiar to you?
He holds up a glossy 8x10, the pentagon shape against a jet black background surrounded by a colorful Kirlian aura. Reznor recognizes it. Double takes.
Hey, that's
Cobain flips the picture 90%. Reads the edge reference.
Yeah, except it's not. Take you on path of charmed anti-quark Lawrence Livermore. Quantum particle research.
It sounds like a six-pack conversation to me.
Later, and it's your round.
In your dreams.
Reznor pulls out a cigarette. Just as he lights up, a lady captain appears at the cubicle doorway. Gets his eye. Jesus.
Hey, Clefed, don't you read?
She nods to the no smoking sign dangling from a string.
Shouldn't you be out on a ledge somewhere, Captain?
Reznor stubs it out in annoyance.
Pathology got some odd scrapping from the crime scene. Running through the lab now.
Thanks, Captain.
He nods, leaves. Cobain continues.
So, summary. We've got the man who knew too much croaking it on a plane.
Right. A store full of toasted creeps and a wad of end-of-the-world guff right out of straight out of the Omen.
This Voorhees character's on the one hand, Krueger on the other.
Freddy versus Jason.
Yeah. Who you lay your money on? I mean, where's the glue that puts it together?
I don't want to stick my titanium neck out, but this is who he was flying over for.
He passes over a sheet. Cobain scrutinizes it, nods.
One's local, at least. Life was so much easier in the old days.
Yeah, but nowhere near as interesting.
Let's do it.
Close on the street, one above the other, photocopies of Alice Johnson and Jessica Freeman's driver's licenses. Cut to exterior driveway, Freeman house, morning. Jacob leans against the garbage cans. Stephanie sits chalking a hopscotch grid on the driveway.
4, 5.
No, it's 3, 4.
That was the last part.
Interior, exterior, basement auto shop, Freeman house, morning. Alice leans against the door frame watching the kids.
I got it.
Alice turns. Jessica slides out from the car with a triumphant look, something wrapped within the oily rag in her hand.
Found your MacGuffin.
Tight on Alice. In the background, we notice an ice cream van draw up to the roadside. It's tinkling music filtering in off screen.
What is it?
Real trippy. Lodged amongst the chassis cabling. Must have bounced up fairly hard from the road.
Alice takes the soiled bundle, opens it, and shrieks, jerks it away on reflex. The contents hit the floor with a discordant clang. Straight away, we recognize 2 mangled metal finger blades attached to a piece of tattered leather, the remains of the old Freddy claw.
Oh my God. No.
What's wrong?
Alex takes a part step back in absolute disbelief.
No, he's dead. Gone.
Who is?
At that second, we realize the ice cream van music has altered on the soundtrack for our benefit to the Freddy nursery rhyme theme, Alice whirls. As Jacob and Stephanie sing along the matching lyrics, playfully argumentative over the wording.
1, 2, Freddy's coming for you.
It's Jason.
It's not.
It is. Jason's coming for you.
Jessica calls past Alice, annoyed.
Steffi, I told you to quit with that dumb song.
Alice turns on Jessica.
You know that rhyme?
Sure, it's a playground song from Lake Crystal. Kids used to sing it, help keep away the boogeyman. What is that thing, anyhow?
She nods at the mangled Freddy fingers, glinting evilly in the morning sun. We end on Alice, visibly disturbed. Fast time cut to. Exterior street, outside Freeman House, afternoon, later. Low angle, tight on a Bethlehem PD, black and white as it parks smartly at the sidewalk. Interior, living room, Freeman House, afternoon. Alice is sitting on the couch, shell-shocked. She stares numbly at the mutilated knife fingers on the low table before her, a still full coffee cup gone cold in her hands. The TV plays a news report in the background.
You're on mute. Don, you're on mute.
The National Science Foundation in Antarctica today reported unprecedented fluctuations in the Earth's magnetic fields.
Interior, kitchen, Freeman House, afternoon, continuing. Jacob and Stephanie observe Alice concernedly.
Is she all right?
Jacob shakes his head, worried. Interior, living room, Freeman House, afternoon, continuing. Alice starts as the doorbell rings off screen. Interior, bathroom, Freeman House, morning. Jessica's under the faucet, shampoo spilling from her hair.
I'm in the shower!
In exterior, interior, front door, Freeman House, afternoon. Alice cautiously opens the front door to be confronted by Cobain and Resner. Two cops sit in a parked cruiser behind Cobain's car on the sidewalk. Expecting Jessica, the feds register Alice and double take.
Mrs. Alice Johnson?
Alice is equally flummoxed now.
Yes.
Cobain and Resner exchange a what the hell look.
This is the residence of Mr. and Miss Freeman?
I'm staying here temporarily. Is there some kind of problem?
Cobain flashes his badge.
Federal officers, Miss Johnson. Might we talk?
An elderly woman neighbor peers through a window across the street, while a man stares fixedly at Alice from watering his lawn. Alice nods, opens the door further. We see Jessica emerge in the background, toweling her hair. Cut to Interior Bethlehem Police Department, evening. Jacob and Stephanie sit at a desk scribbling colorful drawings. Resner appears with a cutout tray of drinks.
Who gets the Sprite?
I do.
Resner places the drinks down, glances at the drawings, garish representations of monsters and fire.
Very colorful.
We're running out of red.
I had that feeling also.
In the cubicle now, tight on the video monitor, Jason's killing mask on still frame advance.
Similar, but I don't know.
Wider, Cobain sits opposite Alice and Jessica as Resner enters, puts down the remaining cups. Alice is perusing the Vatican documentation. We clearly see the parchment.
Ceremonies? Daggers? None of this makes any sense.
We see Jessica react to dagger.
Yeah. Why us?
Closer of the hour? Except the only person can answer no longer qualifies for breathing status.
The pouch and its contents were being delivered expressively for you. We're trying to contact Rome. Unfortunately, the lines, they seem to be down.
Overhead fluorescents sputter, the TV monitor and computer terminals flicking off. The VCR clock resets to 00.
Brown out again. 8 years ago, opposite ends of Ohio State. Two separate spates of multiple homicide bearing all the hallmarks of deceased serial killers to whom you were both in some way connected. Apparently unrelated. Until now.
Alice and Jessica's gaze falls to the Vatican parchment. They catch each other's eyes.
Far as I was concerned, Freddy Krueger lies dead and buried. I've got a kid now, and I don't want him exposed to my demons.
Resner squeaks the battered Freddy blade like you might play with a crab claw.
And something of this magnitude crops up, Miss Johnson, I look at it as something more than coincidence. All right, frankly, this story about a loony who comes after you in your dreams,
it's a little far-fetched.
He tosses it down onto the paperwork.
For all you know, this might just be one more sicko out to get his jollies.
Yeah, like the one 4 years back?
Jessica shifts. Resner reacts as she pulls out a cigarette, moves forward, the no smoking desk notice.
Sorry, there's no smoking here.
She shoots him a look, ignores him, lights it. Resner fidgets uncomfortably with the sign.
All right, look. The Vatican's been compiling detailed files on you both for some time, yet you say you've never met before yesterday. What do you reckon the odds of that are?
What do you want from us?
Just cooperation.
Miss Freeman, your husband's not back from Pittsburgh until tonight.
Right? Are we under arrest?
No.
We will be stationing units on the block perimeter around your house, though, for your protection.
Exterior bluff overlooking Bethlehem, late afternoon, dark. A lightning blast, Jason's upturned mask clearly reflecting the turbulent darkness above. As he drops his gaze, we notice the chrome corroded more substantially than before. Wider now, we crane up behind Jason. Bethlehem's houses spread out neatly below. Cut to exterior freeway en route to Bethlehem, night. Stephen's pickup speeds along a rain-slicked road. Interior cab, Stephen's pickup truck, night. Stephen drives along, squinting through the windshield. Pummeling rain renders the wipers impotent. Bursts of static cut across the radio off screen, tuned to a music channel.
Come on.
An intense lightning flash, like an H-bomb blast, dwarfing everything we've seen before, explodes, blinding Stephen.
Jesus.
The car swerves, his headlight beams flickering, the radio going nuts. Exterior freeway en route to Bethlehem, night. Streetlights explode in showers of sparks and a roar of thunder like the crack of doom echoes horizon to horizon. Intermittent flashes within the clouds as a great ripple like an ocean wave sweeps across the sky. Interior cab, Stephen's pickup truck, night. The pickup spins through 180 degrees as Stephen jams on the brakes. He looks at the driver's compass mounted on the dash. The needle is spinning madly around, peers back up at the sky.
What the hell was that?
That too.
This current guy's killed at least 8 already. Genuine or not, he might be following an agenda.
I have to attend mass this evening.
That's fine, as long as you stick to public places. Miss Johnson, we'd appreciate it at this time if you didn't make plans to leave.
All right.
I'll drive you back. Stay with you until Miss Freeman returns.
Prisoner rises, prompting everyone to follow suit.
Look, we want to assure you of your safety. Anything tries to get to you, they got to go through us first.
Alice opens the cubicle door.
Kids, come on.
Jessica pauses, turns to Cobain.
Agent Cobain, if you're wrong about this, then you have no idea what you're really dealing with.
Exterior parking lot, Bethlehem PD, late afternoon, dark. Alice and the kids pile into the rear of a black and white. Resner pauses at the open passenger side door, looks up as the clouds boil oddly.
Boy, it's shaping to be up one hell of a day.
As thunder booms, we fast cut to interior, black and white, street, night. Reese and Foley sit on night duty, bored out of their minds. Reese is thumbing shells into a riot gun. Foley's eyes are closed. We hear the thunderclap reverb off screen.
What was that?
10 more lousy cents in my paycheck.
We see the sparkling Christmas tree across the road reflected in the car's side window. Foley opens her eyes, annoyed.
That tree's pissing me off.
Why are you so irritable?
You Jack and me, the entire planet's out partying like it's 1999. And I pull short straws with G.I. Joe over here. Life's unfair.
Hey, pardon moi. Say, isn't this one of those feds down there?
Foley straightens, squints.
Yeah.
Exterior street outside Freeman House, night. The black and white flashes its lights at Resner as he stops outside the house. He nods back in return. Exterior, rear garden, Freeman House, night. Resner sits on the swing in the overgrown garden, looks up to see Alice crossing the living room drapes, drops his cigarette and grinds it under heel. Interior, living room, Freeman House, night. Alice turns away from the window. Jacob is messing with the TV remote, but all the channels are fuzzy.
Mom, I can't get Destroy All Monsters on the movie marathon.
Leave it alone, Jake.
She sees Stephanie sitting quietly off to the side.
You okay, sweetheart?
Alice, monsters aren't coming after us, are they?
No, sweetheart. Even if they were, I'm here, and your mom and dad will be back soon.
Jake says if they come in our sleep, you can kill them.
Jacob flashes a look of alarmed betrayal.
I didn't.
I don't know about that, but if you want me to, I can be right there in your dreams with you.
For real?
Honest.
The girl looks reassured at this, smiles. Cut to exterior church, Bethlehem, night. Bright interior lighting filters through the stained glass like a beacon in the night. Interior church, Bethlehem, night. The pews are packed. Jessica a few rows from the front. She covers her mouth, suppressing a yawn. An elderly man alongside glares at her. Up on the pulpit, Father Shea is delivering the last mass of the century.
And though tonight is a time of celebration across the world, it is also one of great uncertainty. Many evils stalking us into the new millennium. I ask all you now to bow your heads.
At the corner of her vision, Jessica notices a nun staring at her. We suddenly realize this is Amanda Krueger. Cut to interior corridor, Bethlehem PD, night. Cobain is on the way out, shucking on his coat. The captain crosses him, stops.
Cobain, the lab boys finished those metal tests before they went off.
Anything?
Only that the scrapings evaporated.
Wait, say what?
Yeah, like wherever it was from was disintegrating at an incredible rate. That make any sense to you?
About as much as anything in this case does. Hey, if Renzor gets here, tell him I'm out playing to the peanut gallery. Tell him that.
You got it. Hey, Happy New Year.
Cut to interior church, Bethlehem, night, dream sequence. Jessica's dog tired, her chin dropping in fatigue. She catches herself, looks up at the stained glass on a nearby wall. A shepherd leading his flock before a haloed saint. We hear Father Shea's voice droning in and out off screen.
The Lord, path, triumph, all things.
Jessica's head wilts again, her eyes springing back open. But the window has changed now. A brazen image of the lambs being butchered by the gleaming blades of the old Freddy and Jason. Actual blood seeping out from the glass wounds. Jessica gasps, turns her head. And the man next to her is now a grinning, desiccated corpse. We go wider as she screams, showing her amongst a sea of skeletons. Her face turns to the pulpit, where Father Shea has changed. A red-green dog collar, sickly veined complexion, pale eyes, a nasty grin revealing discolored teeth.
No more virtues, no salvation, the end of it all.
As he spreads his arms wide, Freddy claws extending from his bare fingers, we slam cut to interior church, Bethlehem, night, back to reality. Jessica jolts awake as the real sermon ends.
Amen.
Amen.
She doubles over, violently retching. Cut to interior black and white street, night, dream sequence. Foley stares out at the bedecked Christmas tree, straightens with a frown as the entire tree shakes oddly. Abruptly, half his lights extinguish.
Reese,
Uh-huh.
Stay here. I'm taking a look around across the road there.
Exterior street outside Freeman House, night. As Foley crosses the street, the tree's remaining lights snuff out, plunging it into darkness. She cautiously unclips her holster and the tree explodes into brilliance, alternate red-green bands strobing along its length.
Someone pinch me.
She nears the tree, begins to circle it, looking up. The branches rustle again.
Okay, come on out of there.
She squints at the deformed angel atop. Then, wham! A massive pine-needled branch arcs out from the tree, punches the pile driver force into the ground immediately to Foley's left, a second slamming down to her right. She whips out her gun and red tinsel erupts from the tree, hammering it from her grip. The colorful vines sprouting barbs in mid-flight, wrapping around her legs and knocking her off her feet.
No!
The branches curl around her, lifting her effortlessly from the ground. The pine needles ripple like one of those pin sculptures, forming a monstrous new Freddy face. Foley turns helplessly towards the black and white, sees Reese sitting calmly inside.
Help! Help me, Reese!
Reese can't hear. The tree bends back, the Freddy face puffing out and firing a barrage of thousands of needles, which slice into her flesh like flechettes. Slam cut to interior, exterior, black and white night. Back to reality. Foley's safety belt is yanked all the way to maximum strain, her body levitating to the ceiling. Reese's pump action is sent skittering into the rear seat. He tries to grab at her flailing arms.
Oh, Foley!
Her thrashing arm catches him, smashes him back against the window. Lacerations slash right through her blue tunic. Outside now. A great wash of blood splatters across the windshield. A beat. Then Foley's heavy boot punches through, splintering the safety glass. The driver's door whams open, a shell-shocked, blood-splattered Reese half stumbling, half dropping to the ground. Gulps air, turns. And a big pair of boots wallops into frame. Metal droplets fizz to the ground, and Reese gazes right up into Jason Voorhees' killing mask.
Shit.
He dives back into the car as Jason rips the passenger side door off and Reese's hand falling about an inch from the shotgun next to Foley's dead face. Then, whump, he is yanked back out of the vehicle by some Olympian force, looks up as the Aztec machete draws back.
No!
The last thing Reese sees is the whoosh of a silver blade. Cut to interior Bethlehem police quarters, night, dream sequence. Resner sits at his desk going through the Vatican paperwork. We see everybody going about their business outside. Resner glances up as the captain comes to the door.
You still here?
Trying to make some sense from all this crap. You seen Cobain?
No.
She pauses, thinks, shakes her head. She goes away. Resner returns to his perusal. Occasional words stand out from the page. Fatima, Portugal, Megiddo, breaking out of seals. He turns a page. Orjinks, Flapples, Ricks, Humps. Resner blinks, turns the other pages, all filled with similar gibberish, sits back perplexed, pulls a lit cigarette from the ashtray, pops it in his mouth. Then the no smoking sign catches his eye. He contemplates it a moment, snorts, takes a long suck. He stops. The sign has changed. Can't you read? He gives a little cough, surprise, and again, getting bigger. The cigarette falls to the floor, sizzles. Resner's spluttering like a trooper now. Smoke trickles from his closed mouth. He opens it, and smoke gouts between his lips, enormous velocity. Hazing the air, the open glass door slams shut, the red dot on the rotary lock rolling to locked position. Resner lurches at a glass wall, banging on it to attract somebody's attention, anybody. The cops continue to pass by as if nothing's happening. Resner drops to his knees, spittle hitting the tiles as part of the thickening smoke in the air gains density, becomes a form, a smoke wraith, a Freddy face. Resner stares in disbelief through watery eyes.
Remember, smoking kills.
The wraith disperses, a grotesque laugh hanging in the air. And Resner coughs his guts up, literally, purple-veined lungs splattering up onto the hard floor. Outside now, the cubicle is smoke-filled glass solid. people laughing, wandering past as if this were an everyday occurrence. A bloody hand slams against the glazing, leaving an obscene smear as we slam cut to exterior, rear garden, Freeman House, night, back to reality. Resner slips from the swing, his chin whacking the seat. A thin trickle of blood spilling from his lips. He gasps for breath, then suddenly, whoop, jerked to his feet as the chain wraps around his neck, tugged upwards until inches away from Jason's chromed mask. We see his feet pedaling uselessly in midair.
Hi.
He spits a dappled spray of blood into Jason's face. Cut to interior living room, Freeman House, night. A handful of empty Budweiser bottles are on the low table. Alice sits alone on the sofa, watching an inane TV anchor covering the New Year's run-up. The reception is fuzzy, occasionally blanking out in blasts of static.
As you can see, even with 4 hours to go, this has to be the new year to end all New Year's. Certainly the largest capacity crowd I've ever seen. Surely there isn't a person on the planet tonight who isn't getting on down.
The sharks might cry.
She gathers up the empties, heads for the kitchen. Interior kitchen, Freeman House, night. Alice tosses the bottles into the trash, opens the refrigerator, pulls out a quart of milk. Her smash! Alice jumps, the carton dropping to the linoleum. The muted sound of splintering wood filters in off-screen from somewhere in the house. Milk glugs unattended as she listens, frozen in fear. Her eyes spot a lug wrench amongst the disassembled parts on the kitchen table. Interior hallway, Freeman House, night. The stairs leading to the auto shop are shrouded in shadow, a portal to dread. The noises have ceased. Alice flicks the light switch several times. No joy. She strains at the edge of her hearing, then jumps as the door right by her shoulder opens. It's Stephanie and Jacob. Alice untenses.
Mom, there's something.
Back inside. Keep the door closed.
The kids comply. Alice looks about her, spots a chunky industrial flashlight atop a pair of coveralls. Interior stairwell, Freeman House, night. Alice directs the floodlight beam, cautiously descending. Interior, Stephanie's bedroom, Freeman House, night. Stephanie flips the key in the lock. Jacob shoves a chair up under the door handle.
Get it in, tight.
Interior, basement auto shop, Freeman House, night. Alice's flashlight picks out dangling chains and old machinery. She moves forward, taut, alert. The back door leading out into the garden hangs inward on one broken hinge, the lock shattered in pieces on the floor. She sweeps the beam around the silent room. Nothing. Finds the switch for the overhead fluorescence. Clicks it. The light bars whine, flicker to life. Jason is standing there right behind Alice, machete poised. Half the chrome mask is eroded away now, the flesh beneath scabrous and decomposing rapidly. She turns as Jason's Aztec blade pierces the air, eludes decapitation by a microsecond. It severs a tuft of blonde hair, embeds itself into strobe and flare chaotically. Alice's foot catches an oil patch. She slips, falls heavily against the workbench as electrical charges crackle up along Jason's arm, momentarily paralyzing him. The wrench falls from Alice's grip, clatters just out of reach. Jason tugs his machete free, sways a little before locking back on target. 2 quick strides towards Alice as she snatches up the wrench, brings it up in a clumsy movement which barely blocks Jason's next strike. The ancient blade cleaves off the wrench's grip, bashes Alice's forehead, cutting open a ragged scar. Alice snap rolls aside, crawls for cover beneath the bench. She drags her foot in quickly as the machete whooshes down, sparking on the stone floor. Alice crawls away for dear life. Jason closes like a heat-seeking missile, a hand clamping around her ankle with a vice-like grip. Alice yells, begins to get dragged back. Her hand shoots out, snatches as the bolted bench leg. Knuckles whiting. Jason heaves mightily and falters back. Alice's empty boot clutched in his hand. He lunges forward, powerfully wrenching the workbench aside, tearing the bolted legs up. Jessica's boombox topples, starting up loud, slamming rock music. Jason turns over a line of freestanding shelves, blocking off the exit to the garden. Alex scrambles out of the way, gets to her feet, turns to face him as he circles towards her. Molten droplets fall from his mask, fizzing on the floor. She takes in his leprous countenance.
What the hell are you?
Jason pounces wordlessly for Alice. She ducks beneath the suspended engine block, backs toward the shadows. Interior, Stephanie's room, Freeman House, night. The kids have slid open the sash window, trying to force through the narrow gaps in the security bars outside.
Go, squeeze through.
It's too small.
Cut to exterior street outside Freeman House, night. Stephen's pickup turns the corner, enters the road. Interior cab, Stephen's pickup truck, night. A bottle of champagne is on the passenger seat next to Stephen. He frowns as he nears the police cruiser, sees the empty cab, the running light, strobing atop.
Hello?
He draws parallel, passes, takes a gander in his rearview mirror and...
Christ on a crutch.
Exterior street, outside Freeman House, night. The pickup squeals to a halt, Stephen leaping out in a rush towards the dead cops. Cut back to interior basement, auto shop, Freeman House, night. Jason's mask glitters in the spasmodic lighting. We hear his inhumanely steady breathing as it searches side to side. His foot catches Alice's discarded flashlight. It rolls across the floor, the beam casting erratic shadows, which reveals Alice moving at a crouch around the side of the Lexus. She looks up, sees the dangling engine block, looks down, sees an oil can, gets an idea. With Jason now, he hears a metallic clong, homes pitilessly towards it, and slips on the thin sheen of oil clogging the floor, registering the dark mass on the engine block as it impacts his ribs, slamming him back into the grease pit. Alice punches the big red button on the hydraulic controls. Jason tries to get his footing again.
You're jammed, sucker.
Whoomp! The hydraulic ramp powers down, the raised Pontiac crushing onto Jason. Alice watches with satisfaction as it reaches bottom, the overstressed mechanism rising in pitch. She shuts off the control, takes a tire iron from the shelf, bends down, turns off the boombox. Exterior, front of house, Freeman House, night. Stephen races up to the barred front door, rifling his pockets.
Keys, god damn it.
Forgotten them, he races off around the side of the house. Exterior, alleyway, alongside Freeman House, night. The garden fence rushes by Stephen in an adrenaline blur. He hears shrill voices above, looks up to see Stephanie and Jacob desperately trying for his attention.
Daddy! Daddy!
Help!
I'm coming. Stay there.
He crashes through the back gate. Exterior, rear garden, Freeman House, night. Into the garden. The security lights snap on, and Stephen fetches up short, almost drops the bottle. Resner's corpse is twisted up in the swing's chains ahead, wrapped tight around his swollen neck. Blood spattering his shirt. Stephen motivates himself, heads for the house. Interior, basement auto shop, Freeman House, night. Silence reigns supreme. We hear the steady drip, drip of oil as Alice ceases to circle the pit. Nothing, no movement. Close on her as smash. Alice dives for cover as the Pontiac's hood is sent spinning up through the air, a shower of piping and wires following.
No.
She watches in horror as Jason's steaming form hauls itself up through the car's guts. Exterior, rear garden, Freeman House, night. Stephen finds the shattered door leading into the auto shop blocked by the falling shelves. Shelving.
Hey.
Interior, basement auto shop, Freeman House, night. Jason's coming straight for Alice like the Terminator. Stephen's muffled voice unbalances him an instant as Alice's fingers coil around the grip of a handheld rotary saw. She rams the unplugged electrical cord into the socket as Jason bears down. Swings the saw as it trills to life. Razor-sharp teeth bite through Jason's coveralls, chew through his flesh, spilling forth maggots and green bile. She slices again once more. Jason rallies with a vengeance, hacking through the electrical wire. The saw sputters and dies, and Jason lunges for the kill. As the auto shop's metal shutters explode inward in a deluge of shredded metal, Alice miraculously escapes injury as headlamps blazing. Stephen's pickup roars through the breach, makes a Jason sandwich between it and the disemboweled Pontiac. Stephen blinks the grogginess from the impact away. As he pulls the release on his safety belt,
look out!
Jason's fingers gouge like steel into the pickup's buckled hood. He drags his undead body up, punches his rancid fist through the windshield, grabs a handful of Stephen's shirt, yanks his head forward against the steering wheel, knocking him unconscious. Jason's head snaps around us.
You son of a bitch!
Alice charges him, wielding a tire iron, wallops him viciously across the side of the head, goes for a second blow, but Jason catches it with stunning disregard for inertia, slings the iron at Alice halfway across the room. She screams as her temple catches a glancing blow against something, sound and vision distorting strangely. A flash frame of white dissolves us through to interior bedroom, Voorhees house, day, dream sequence. Tight on Alice's closed eyes, we hear an indistinct, breathy babble as we track in. Her eyelids pop open, wider, soft pastel hues. Sitting in a wicker chair, Alice surveys the 50s furnished bedroom, embellished with 60s-style boys' paraphernalia. The tune Mr. Sandman plays on a radio somewhere off-screen. She looks down, sees herself wearing a blue and white Alice in Wonderland dress.
I'm inside someone's dream.
An ice hockey stick mounted above the dresser, goalie masks to either side. A poster showing a 1960s Cincinnati Cyclones lineup.
What is this?
She hears raised voices off-screen from somewhere downstairs, goes to investigate. Interior landing, Voorhees house, day, dream sequence. Alice finds herself with an uninterrupted view of the living room. Crouched behind the banisters at the top of the stairs just ahead is a 10-year-old boy, a hockey mask pushed up on his head.
Hey there.
Alice gasps as he turns to her. We see his features are asymmetric. The name Jason picked out on the breast of his boiler suit in florid embroidery. Smiles at Alice with great gentility. Puts a finger to his mouth to indicate silence.
Oh, God. I'm in your mind.
The people below in heated argument below are Elaine and Kirk Parker, Jed Lane Sr., Pamela and Elias Voorhees, Marge and her police lieutenant husband, Donald Thompson.
You've got to fix Freddy Krueger once and for all.
This is the 60s, for secret's sake, March, not the Middle Ages.
You're spineless, Kirk.
Jed turns angrily on Lieutenant Thompson.
I hear you.
We wouldn't be beating our gums if your begotten partner hadn't screwed the pooch.
It wasn't Tim's fault. The warrant wasn't signed.
Krueger juiced my son, cop. Half the other kids in this town, you want to think about that when it comes for you, little Nancy?
Krueger juiced my son, cop. Half the other kids in the town. You want to think about that when he comes up, your little Nancy?
He ought to be checked. That line was skipped, so I'll do it.
If the police can't help, maybe the FBI?
Huh. Dream on, Voorhees.
Up on the landing, Alice gazes at the boy with dawning comprehension.
Jason Voorhees was an Elm Street kid?
Down below again, Elias arguing vehemently.
If we kill that monster, we'll be no better than he.
Elias, Jason's scared, retreating into a world of his own, hiding behind that damn hockey mask.
Probably done us a service.
Shut up, Lane.
We need to know where you stand, Donald.
I can't condone vigilantism.
You either.
Elaine?
You either in or you're out, Thompson. There ain't no middle ground.
Thompson takes a breath. So do the others.
All right. I'm in.
We end on Alice's perplexed face as we match cut to interior, Pamela Voorhees' car, night, dream sequence. Alice is joggled in the rear seat of a big 50s automobile as it rides across regular expansion joints. Young Jason sits alongside Pamela Voorhees, who's driving. The boy turns and smiles at Alice.
You stay in the car. Mommy's fixing some businesses.
Exterior, industrial complex, night, dream sequence. Pamela's shiny cherry Cadillac, we recognize it as Freddy's burial plot from the end of Dream Warriors, heads for the functional factory buildings ahead. Another angle, the car pulls to a halt outside a corrugated iron warehouse. Several other vehicles are here already. Interior, Pamela Voorhees' car, night, dream sequence. Pamela turns to Jason.
If you're a good boy, we'll maybe head out to Lake Crystal for a little holiday. Teach you to swim. You'd like that, wouldn't you?
Jason nods solemnly.
All right, I won't be long.
Pamela climbs out, slams the door behind her. Young Jason watches her vanish around the edge of the building, gives Alice a quick look, then opens the door on his side.
8.
Alice promptly opens her door and follows. Again to interior, Freddy Krueger's boiler room, dream sequence. Straight into a raging inferno. Cruel frames lick the bare concrete walls. A window overhead smashes, a Molotov cocktail blossoming. Alice catches a quick glimpse of Jed Lane and Donald Thompson.
Burn in hell, pervert!
An immense boiler lines one whole wall. A smoldering figure crawls from the open safety gate, drops painfully to the floor. The iconic striped jumper, familiar chiseled presence. Freddy Krueger, aflame from the waist down, his face still mostly unblemished. His hat falls away as he seems to look straight up at Alex. Alice.
Save me. Help me.
Help?
Jason!
Alice looks up. She sees young Jason slowly dragging off his hockey mask, staring down into the sea of fire. Pamela appears, tries to pull the resisting boy away.
Come away!
Marge Thompson appears above, face contorted with hatred.
Die. Die.
Another Molotov bursts into Freddy's face. His fingers are a rictus curl of despair. Riotous curl of despair.
Hear me.
Green energy belches beneath him. Hideous biocheminoid dream wraiths swirl up, coiling around Freddy, lifting him from his floor. Iridescent energy bolts as they pierce his torso. His body swells up to Schwarzeneggerian magnitude.
Yes. Yes. I am eternal.
His body explodes in a glowing red energy storm that sweeps through Alice in a wave. We see Freddy's bones collapse to the floor at center. The blast reaches young Jason, momentarily flaring out as he turns. And match cut to exterior Jetty, Crystal Lake, sunset, dream sequence. Young Jason stands on a wooden jetty, protruding out onto a picturesque boating lake, the sky a beautiful purple red. We see Alex on the shoreline, watching. She shouts.
Stop! Wait!
The boy doesn't hear. We see him climb down into one of the boats, tug at the mooring ropes. Alice scrambles along to the shale to follow. Slow pauses at a sign which reads, "Welcome to Crystal Lake, Camp Crystal." Young Jason's boat drifts away from the pier as Alice pounds along the boardwalk with a great rumble. Clouds speed across the sky in time lapse. Glowering thunder, zephyrs forming out of nowhere. Young Jason gazes up, whimpers, while the slats beneath Alice splinter and disintegrate. She treads air like Wile E. Coyote. From young Jason's point of view, the shoreline speeds supernaturally away in all directions at 100 miles per hour. In seconds, the boy finds his tiny boat adrift in the center of a vast ocean. Alice falls, splashes into the icy cold water, arms flailing. The camera flips through 180 degrees with her as she levitates up out of the water like the Lady of the Lake, miraculously dry. She stands on the surface as if treading plexiglass, just yards from young Jason's boat. The boy begins to cry, pulling the hockey mask up to his face in defense. Remember the Freddy claws menacing Nancy in the bath in Nightmare? Well, that's just what happens now, except each claw is 6 feet long, towering up, unseen by young Jason. The boy turns as the claws submerge again and disappear lickety-split. A moment's suspense and the boat starts to rock violently, water spilling inboard. Alice cries out.
Hold on.
She takes a step forward and sinks into the water up to her knee.
No, somebody help.
She takes another step, up to her waist this time. The boat overturns, young Jason shrieking with terror. We see a high cherry picker angle, a huge Freddy arm undulating away into the depths like a green and red squid. Alice reaches the upturned boat, submerged up to the neck now. She thumps on the hole repeatedly.
Let him go. Let him go.
A spume of bubbles effervescence around her, a white object floating to the surface, Jason's mask. Alice takes it in her hand, looks skyward, yells.
No.
There's that cherry picker angle again, going wider very fast now into a universal pullback, revealing the black pool of ocean to be one of the eye holes in the battered Jason mask we know and hate. Continuing further back. Sound segue match. Cut to interior Freddy's boiler room. Dream sequence continuing. We pull right back to reveal a big, frightening version of Freddy's boiler room, a perspective trick of cabling and feeder pipes leading to a monstrous furnace. Young Jason is strapped spread eagle to an X-shaped torture cross, slash marks across his boiler suit. We hear a deep, menacing variation of the Freddy nursery rhyme off screen. A hole in space opens up, Alice falling from it in a deluge of water. Hits muddy ground, embedded with fragments of broken children's toys, face first. Her head snaps up as old Freddy triumphantly tears the mask from Jason's face, looks straight at Alice, places a razor-sharp finger blade under Jason's chin.
You like my little puppet. He's always done everything I say.
Don't.
Freddy laughs maliciously, rakes his claws towards Jason. Jump cut to interior auto shop, Freeman House, night. End dream sequence. Alice jolts awake, Jessica crouching over and slapping her cheeks vigorously.
Come on, wake up, goddammit. Where are they?
What?
Steven, my kid. Turn it on, goddammit.
Alice glanced across. The pickup is gone, a great rent torn into the metal shutters.
Jacob?
Place looks like Godzilla trashed it. What happened?
It's Jason. Freddy created him.
I don't give a fuck. Where's my girl?
Alice gets with the program, rallies herself awake.
The bookstore.
Cut to exterior yard, Samhain Books, night. Wide on a wall at the end of the yard, like a kabuki shadow play, we see Jason's monstrous form making short shrift to two struggling cops. Handheld, same shot. We steady cam back over the cops' bodies, whip panning left to see a pair of legs being dragged through the slashed OSHA-type remnants covering the fire exit. Interior sacrificial chamber, Samhain Books, night. Clunk, clunk. Stephen is strapped to the inverted cross. Jason looms over him. Wider across the room, an unconscious Jacob and Stephanie dumped in the center of the Pentagon. Cut to exterior streets, Bethlehem, night. The damaged black and white zooms through the night, thunder rumbling overhead. Interior black and white, streets, night. Jessica driving madly. Alice is strapped in, holding on for dear life. The door at her side non-existent.
Bastard was after our kids all along.
I felt something inside Jason's mind. Some thing beyond him and Krueger.
Hold on.
She pulls a hard right, narrowly avoids an oncoming car, its horn blaring. Exterior, Samhain Books, Elm Street, night. Lightning arcs across the sky with a terrific boom, a whirlpool of clouds above. A massive energy bolt, almost more plasma than electricity, stabs down across the street from the bookstore, riving a tree into splinters. Pulsing and throbbing, almost alive, it scorches the path across the road towards the store, bisecting a car in twisted junk. Interior, black and white, Elm Street, night. Alice reacts, grabs the wheel.
Stop!
Shit!
Exterior, Samhain Books, Elm Street, night. Jessica slams on the brakes. The black and white screeches to a halt, the crackling energy vaporizing the front of the vehicle. A lucky escape. The beam continues on, vanishes for an instant, then driving down onto the bookstore turret. Alice and Jessica leap out of the car, run for the shop.
Come on!
Interior, sacrificial chamber, Samhain Books, night. Alice and Jessica burst through a torn veil of OSHA tape. Stop dead. Just barely alive, Stephen jerks and twitches atop the cross, his skin withering and putrefying. The Pentagon is engulfed by the swirling energy typhoon. We can about discern Jason's dark form within, the esophageal tunnel opening beneath him.
No!
She lunges forward. Alice restrains her.
Jess, don't.
The otherworldly rift implodes, and the chamber is suddenly silent, empty. Jessica collapses to her knees.
God, Stephen, no!
Alice runs to the center of the Pentagon, eyes searching madly, fingertips tracing the filmy tracery of blood.
No.
Great. This is great. What do we do now? Sis, huh? Want to tell me who that?
We've gotta go after them.
Oh, how? They're gone. There's no way.
Shut up. There has to be a way.
Blood drips from the cross into the Pentagon channels. Cut to interior, Torchy's bar, Bethlehem, night. The place is wall to wall with revelers, jukebox cranked up. Cobain sits at the packed bar, takes a sip of something, probably vodka, as someone jostles into him from behind. He catches the barmaid's
Probably listen, but
What was that? Anyway,
that is a predicament.
I think my doubles turn to a single.
Not the best night for a quiet drink, is it?
No, I'm waiting for someone, to be honest.
Aren't we all?
Cobain watches the television mounted up on the wall, widely fluctuating.
Huh. Brown out still?
You didn't hear? North Pole flipped. Around earlier, up is down, down is up. Spiffy New York prank, huh?
The great purification.
A voice yells the length of the bar. Cobain looks up, sees the bar owner holding the phone and looking at him.
Oh, anybody can play bar owner. I didn't guess that.
Hey, Reservoir Dog, you the cop?
FBI.
Same difference, phone. Cobain pushes his way through the melee. A drunken girl grabs him halfway, kisses him.
Jesus, what year is this? Somebody do that.
Happy New Century!
Yeah, all right. I'm not into this. Thank you. Jesus.
Wait.
Cobain?
Jump cut to exterior, Samhain Books, Elm Street, night. Cobain's car squeals to a standstill. Jessica appears, yanks his door open. Alice right behind.
You bring them?
My partner's fucking mulched. I want some answers.
We hear a very peculiar noise from the meteorology above. We might swear that the entire sky seems to be contracting.
No time. Shag it.
Interior, Sacrificial chamber, Samhain Books, night. Alice puts down a pair of mini multimedia speakers, rips open an evidence bag, casts aside Vatican documents, tosses the Woodham dagger case to Jessica, slides the cultist camcorder from another bag. Jacks a lead into the side. Cobain stands at the breach in the turret, looking up at the weirdly shrinking atmosphere, turns back into the room.
Someone better start explaining all this.
All the clues? And you haven't figured it out? It's 0 hour, Agent Cobain. World's going out with a bang.
Wait. Whoa. Reality check.
My husband's fucking dead. My daughter's gone. You've a belief problem. Shove it.
It's 100% gravity, this zip code. Look, get off the ceiling.
Jessica has the case open, brings out the seemingly plain dagger of Horvath. The dagger transforms instantly into a biomechanical mass. The blade elongates, runes molding into the side. Alice and especially Cobain are taken aback.
Same as the one I killed Jason last.
Feeling converted yet?
Okay, so you got a game plan?
Replay the cultist incantations, follow them to wherever.
If it doesn't work?
Lightning glares overhead.
We're out of options.
An LED glows red as she activates the camcorder, moves to the center of the Pentagon with Jessica. Cobain stands to one side reluctantly.
No one's twisting your arm.
He hesitates, enters the Pentagon feeling a little foolish.
Okay. Beam me down.
Close on the camcorder, the digital frame counter ticking upwards, the cultist chanting issuing forth from the built-in speakers.
Candare strata.
Their settled blood in the stone channels begins to glow an unearthly green. Cobain looks down, dumbfolded as the light accelerates, delineating the symbol.
By the Abramlin Mage.
The ancient rune flares, points of energy crackling the air, probing between Alice, Jessica, and Cobain.
Invoke your holy guardian, Nostraferatus Simontus.
An imposing red-green energy cyclone materializes about them, a blast of air scattering the pontiff's documents.
Thanos.
A bolt of light consumes the frame, the ground beneath them shattering to reveal. Cut to interior esophagus journey, 0 hour. A roller coaster ride, their point of view rushing light streams. THS quality bass whooshes. That might be planets or atoms racing by. Fast 90-degree course changes along a tunnel lined with thousands of screaming souls, and then a white flash. Cuts us to exterior apex of pillar, hell, 0 hour. The soul arthritic tree is rocked by a raging tempest. 3 amoeba-like polyps erupt towards us from within the ground, strewing bones. In an instant, the skulls formed within sheath with tendons and flesh until the polyps burst, evaporate. Cobain and the 2 women fall to the ground, weakly recover.
Is everyone okay?
Tubular. Now what?
Look! Everyone does. The Leviathan singularity tornado bearing down, almost upon the jutting pillar. A mobile black hole sucking the 3-dimensional world into it. Alice spots a hell door, a riveted steel door free-floating in midair behind them.
I know this place.
The door. Go.
They sprint for it. Jessica gets there first, heaves the pull ring, nothing. Cobain pitches in, still nada. As the singularity hits the pillar, devours it hungrily. As Alice adds her weight to the door, which grinds open, the gray vacuum inside sucks at them.
Inside!
They tumble through the doorway as the singularity tears the pillar apart. Exterior, bridge of moans, hell, 0 hour, continuing. Cobain and the women jettison through another floating door, identical to the first. It slams closed as they pick themselves shakily up.
This is nuts.
Very, very wide, an impossibly long viaduct-like bridge straddles an infinitive sea of molten lava, vanishing off at the horizon. A presumably infinite number of floating doors line either side of the bridge.
Now what? Flip a coin?
Conversation stops as the sky above distorts. The singularity vortex tears into the bridge, rumbling towards them at an incredible rate.
Run.
They run, the vortex hot on their heels, engulfing the bridge. They skid to a halt.
This is hopeless.
Try another door.
No time for finesse. They choose one randomly, force it open, and a massive leg drops down from inside, anchors itself on the bridge. Mighty hands with scimitar blades reaching for Alice, an Olympian head atop a red and green dressed Richard Corbin, superhero dream of a body. The new Freddy, seen in all his glory.
It's my comeback tour.
Fuck.
Freddy jerks Alice bodily back inside, but Cobain and Jessica grab her too in a bizarre tug of war. Alice screams, and Freddy draws her inside with finality. The door slams shut.
Cobain!
The vortex is almost upon them. Cobain thinks fast, turns to the door opposite.
This one.
They get the door open, disappearing inside as the vortex eats space. Cut to interior maze of pipes. Hell, 0 hour. The walls are a complex labyrinth of industrial ducting. Alice plummets from an overhead circular inlet, splashes into fetid, knee-deep water. She thrashes to the surface, coughing bile, looks up to see Freddy, roaring down the perpendicular inlet towards her. She scrambles up, starts to run as he crashes down, 7 feet tall and filling the tunnel like a bodybuilder, bellowing into pursuit.
Run like the wind, Alice!
His chest works, sucking like a vacuum blows like a hurricane, tossing Alice end over end. She grimaces, clutches her leg. Freddy laughs sardonically. Cut 2. Interior, spherical spike room, hell, 0 hour. Cobain and Jessica fall through the door, land in a heap, recoup, take in their new surroundings.
This is twisted.
They're standing on a long rectangular platform suspended in space, a hell door defying gravity either end. The platform itself is at center of a spherical room, rotating about it. The curved walls brim with evil metal spikes, a decayed cadaver impaled on each. In homage, we might recognize the roguish gallery of movie monsters. Decayed gillmen, pinheads, Horace Pinker. You get the idea.
This is hell. Let's come on.
They head for the opposite door. 10 feet away, it opens. Jason charges through, his machete a silver splash in motion. Jessica moves quickly, but the tip lacerates across her chest. She falters, hitting the platform and almost going over. Her arm dangles next to a leather-faced corpse and chances upon. Cobain slides his pistol out, walks it towards Jason, roaring. The undead killer reels back as Cobain discharges a full clip, goes dry, ejects the spent mag, slaps in another. Jason rallies, sends the gun spinning, grabs Cobain by the neck, lifts him gurgling from the floor.
Hey, fucker!
Jessica steps forward, an evil glint in her eye and her hands full of tarnished chainsaw. Jason tosses Cobain aside, examines the chainsaw with healthy respect.
Let's finish this.
She tugs the actuator cord vehemently, and the blade drops out, hits the deck with a dull clunk. Even Jason stops, as if not believing her bad luck. And Jessica socks him around the head with the hand grip. Jason goes down, pitching over the platform edge and lancing himself on the spikes. The room rotates around as he thrashes like a pinned butterfly. Cobain and Jessica bolt for the door, Jessica grabbing the gun in the process. Cut 2, interior sewer tunnels, hell, 0 hour. 2-foot Freddy claws grind along dark stone walls, screeching and sparking. Alice hobbles blindly, panting intensely, edging into hysteria. Walls blur past as she splashes through the shallow water to an intersection, chooses a route. Freddy's impossibly huge form fills the corridor behind, legs pumping like steam pistons.
No one to mourn you here, sweet meat.
Alice stumbles into a dead end. A hell door floats against one wall, another off to one side. She starts back the way she came until Freddy appears and blocks her path.
All out options.
She turns tail as Freddy guffaws malevolently, gallops toward her, wrenches at the far door, and a fast impression of spears, knives, daggers, slicing towards her, Tex Avery style. She throws herself flush against the sidewall, thrusts the door closed, dents bulge out from the smooth metal, and a brace of weaponry whooshes past, straight for Freddy. A spear pierces his side, the silver phantasm ball burying itself into his forehead. As he howls in agony, Alice forces open the second door, enters. Freddy plucks the ball away, shambles in pursuit. Cut 2, interior maze of pipes, hell, 0 hour. Alice carums against the wall of pipes either side of her, sheet flame scorching beyond, flounders blindly through what looks like soiled, ripped drapes. In actuality, flailed human flesh, hanging overhead, a hiss as Alice places her hand on a steaming conduit, recoils. Something catches at the edge of her hearing. It sounds like Jacob's voice. Her head snaps around. Interior boiler room, hell, 0 hour. Alice enters the next room at a run, stops. The camera whirls about Alice as she turns to take in the room, the background blurring with motion. Another angle. Though not large, the room has the feel of an unholy cathedral, much as Alice saw in Jason's mind melt.
Jacob.
Another angle. We hear but not see a door slam behind. As her head whips around, in the background a great furnace roars to life. Alice sees its form from a fused biomechanical mass of human bodies. She hears an approaching rumble like a freight train. The pipes, which extend up into infinity, give a seismic thunder, and a large reader pipe tears raggedly open. Freddy's demonic form forces its way out.
To the moon, Alice. The moon.
I want my son, you bastard.
I have already had him.
He lunges, scimitar claws gashing at Alice, missing as she sidesteps. A blast of super hot steam pours out at Alice. She grabs a protruding pipe, screams in suffering, then smites Freddy with strength born of hate and frustration. Once, twice. Off balance, Freddy totters against the blazing furnace, screams, first from the fire, again as the furnace limbs grip and gouge at him. Freddy bays like a mythic beast, tears himself clear. Fixes on Alice, a snarl splitting his face. They circle, he closes.
Draw your last breath.
It seems like curtains for Alice, and then the walls rip apart as if made of paper, the singularity vortex thundering in. Freddy balks, and Alice seizes the opportunity, diving headfirst through the open furnace doors into the blazing conflagration beyond. Cut to interior night gallery, hell, 0 hour. A dark Caligari-esque chamber with vaulted ceilings and pillars. Cobain and Jessica appear from the shadows in a clatter of footsteps.
Did we come this way?
Place is like a maze. What is this?
The chamber kinks angularly at the center. The walls on both sides are lined with Baroque picture frames floating just off the walls, similar to the Hell's Doors, in a staggered pattern. Each one portrays a cycle of quick time, Freddy deaths from the previous movies, distorted slightly by a water ripple effect.
Greatest hits collection.
They hear an eerie, ghostly echo back the way they came.
We better go.
Jessica nods her head. They start off. Cobain pauses as they reach the kink, Jessica going over the rise. A particular cheval-sized picture holds his attention. Like a window to a normal Rockwillian suburb, white picket fences, lawns being sprinkled, bright and very 60s, less shimmery than others. His brow creases as he sees. A nun standing at the roadside, turning towards him. Cobain recognizes her from his dream, Amanda Krueger. He reaches a tentative finger out to the shimmery surface, and the picture sucks him in.
Oh.
Over the rise, Jessica is suddenly aware of Cobain's absence.
Cobain!
A dark profile detaches from a pillar behind her. Something catches her sixth sense. She pivots, and by a hair's breadth avoids decapitation by Jason, wielding a halberd taken from the spike room. Jessica's hand comes up reflexively, the dagger of Horvath clutching in it. Jason's blade catches the occult weapon's edge, shattering at the superior metallurgy. Jessica dodges past him, hot foots away. Interior Escher Hall, hell, 0 hour, continuing. Jessica emerges from a stone archway, stops dead.
Whoa.
We whip pan from her to find she's looking out across an immense Escher Hall, columns and stairs going every which way and confounding the brain. Connecting platforms here and there, a pit of fire high up at an angle, inverted. Jessica hears a noise behind, turns around, sees a moving shadow on the wall, takes a deep breath and starts along a spiraling stairway into the chamber's center. Halfway down, she reaches a platform with an inset metal grating, her head jerking around. As a gout of flame blossoms from the up pit, Alice tumbles out, flying down through space.
Alice!
Alice whooshes past, arms thrashing. Jessica outstretches, catches Alice's grip with her own, pulls her to the gravity of the platform.
Where's Cobain?
I lost him back there.
We got to get out. This place is falling apart.
Crash! The grating explodes from the floor, sending the girls flying. Freddy squeezes through, his claws stabbing down for Alice's face. She moves her head slightly, two of the saber blades pinning her either side of the neck.
Your doomsday's here.
Jessica musters her resolve, vaults onto Freddy's muscular back, anchoring an arm around his trunk-like neck. She reaches around, dives down with the dagger of Horvath, penetrating his shoulder. Freddy bellows, shucking Jessica loose. She falls up, lands on another Escher stairway. The crimson glow permeated his shoulder as it petrifies to stone, fracture lines spreading outward. Alice scurries for safety as Freddy withdraws his blade arm, swats the Horvath dagger loose. It falls horizontally, lands precariously on the edge of a platform, dropping bottomlessly away.
The dagger!
Jessica sees it's closer to it, climbs up a down staircase hurriedly for it. Freddy massages his paralyzed shoulder, his blade arm's range of movement restricted.
You'll pay now, bitches!
Jessica reaches the dagger as Freddy surges at Alex like a rhino, and Jason drops down from nowhere, Alice crashing into him. She's knocked to the stone floor, breathless, maximum tension as she eyes the two monsters on either side of her. Jason hesitates as Freddy snarls at him.
The master promised them to me.
Jason takes a half step, pauses.
Don't make me hurt you again.
I could take over, Carolyn.
Yeah, I got lost.
Tell me when you're back. We get the impression that something snaps behind Jason's chromed visage. Alice throws her arms across her face as the smaller Jason launches himself. Launches across at Freddy with the velocity of a T-Rex. Drives him ferociously back against a column, which cracks and buckles under the onslaught. Jason's fractured halberd slices, shears one of Freddy's claws, snaps another Freddy, grimaces as the two titans struggle hand to hand.
I made you!
We can tell from the bone-crunching headbutt Jason gives Freddy that this fact really ticks him off. And at the moment, one entire half of the carnivorous Escher Hall shivers and disintegrates. Alice reaches Jessica. They grab a handhold as the vortex powers in to consume reality.
Boy, you weren't kidding.
That way.
The ladies head for a nearby spiral staircase as the two creatures below crash superhumanly amidst the crumbling surroundings. Interior, turret, throne room, chamber approach, hell, 0 hour. Alice has an arm around Jessica as they emerge from a stone turret. Beat up and gasping for air, they pause.
End of the line.
A buttressed stone walkway stretches ahead.
Oh, shit.
Is that okay?
Merle's coming in. Yes. Merle's coming in.
Coming in. A buttressed stone walkway stretches ahead. Two stained glass frames staggered at intervals along it. At the end is a circular arena bounded by demonic sculptures curving in slightly. If we were to see this from a distance, it would resemble a rectangular clenched hand. Surrounding all of this in place of sky or ground is a swirling mass of chaos. As if we were inside a giant imploding balloon of kaleidoscopic energy, and it's shrinking. With the biggest boom we can muster, that won't blow your local multiplex speakers. The singularity vortex materializes beyond the turret.
This does not look good.
They hobble, run towards the structure ahead, past the first stained glass window with a metallic clatter. Cobain's Beretta falls to the floor.
I got it.
Alice picks it up, and the stained glass window splinters into a million shards. Jason leaps through, lands awkwardly. Alice raises the gun, thumbs the safety, fires. Crack, crack, crack. The third shot ricochets from Jason's slivered mask, cracking it halfway. The misshapen childlike face beneath, almost sympathetic.
Keep going.
They continue on, the undead killer limping in pursuit, past the second stained glass window, as the singularity vortex plows into the turret behind, annihilating it. Interior throne chamber, hell, 0 hour, continuing. Alice and Jessica enter the structure, shrouded by shadows. Atop a central raised dais is what looks like a square of black glass rotating in space. Besides it is a throne, disturbingly fashioned from skulls and biomechanical fittings. The by now familiar pentagon is indented into the floor, swaying chains hand up from the ground. Flaming braziers are dotted around the periphery, cutouts dropping off to infinity in the floor, spelling certain death for the hapless. Jessica stops, face registers horrified disbelief.
Oh my God.
We found them.
Close on the rotating glass pane, through two-dimensional, Jacob and Stephanie can be seen trapped within. Jason looms suddenly at their shoulders.
Run!
Alice and Jessica separate as Jason's halberd sparks from one of the chains. Alice edges toward the pentagon, while Jessica makes it to the dais. Jason seems torn for a moment, decides who to stalk, goes for Jessica. She draws the Horvath dagger.
Hey, handsome. It's Rumble.
Over the dais, Alice examines the children's glass prison with frustration. Tries to grab the edge, but it offers no purchase. Pulls Cobain's gun.
Hope I know what I'm doing.
Crack, crack. Not even a scratch. It might as well be titanium, as the bullets ricochet, pinging into the stone. All the braziers flare massively. No one notices the shadows moving, collecting toward one point, and the chamber becoming gradually brighter. Jessica faints with the Horvath blade retreating, loses balance at one point on the edge of a cutaway. Jason follows, whacking relentlessly with the halberd. Each time the blades make contact, part of Jason's weapon fragments. Eventually, the undead monster is left with what amounts to a dagger. He tosses it ferociously at Jessica. She parries the projectile. It explodes in a light blast. Back towards the entrance, the singularity vortex has chewed part of half of the bridge. The editing energy bubble all around contracted in even more. Back inside, Jason grabs one of the 6-inch hanging chains, whooshes it in an arc at her. She's smashed into the brazier, the dagger of Horvath skittering out of sight, burning herself as. Jason's shoulder explodes in a ray of green putrescence. He whirls. Alice is standing a short distance behind with a pistol. She taunts him.
Hey, want to go for bonus points?
Jason hesitates. Alice plugs him again for incentive. Jessica begins to circle around for dais.
Hey, I meant...
Her face flails as Jason stampedes for her, but a third stained glass pane offsets asymmetrically, blasts apart. Freddy springs through, lands on Jason, agile as a cat. The two pummel each other furiously, an alley cat fight of the underworld. Alice is sent sprawling to the ground, stumbles to join Jessica at the dais. The battle is brutal, clashing claws and fists, hisses and grunts. Makes WWF look like a kid's playground fight. In background, we see Alice join Jessica on the dais.
What are we going to do?
Get the kids free and get the fuck out of Dodge.
I already tried the gun.
Jason grips Freddy's throat, shoves his head into the brazier's searing coals. Freddy cries out, his claws flailing out and puncturing Jason's stomach. They flounder to the ground and are ripped bodily apart by some staggering presence, a great dark shape looming from behind them. Jessica and Alice freeze. Alice's eyes widen, follow as the two behemoths are hoisted up and up. It's improbable, impossible, but nonetheless there, a titanic, regal figure. We recognize him from Alice and Manfredi's dreams. Freddy and Jason are like Boy Scouts next to him, clutched in his evil talon.
What the hell is that?
Thanos, Lord of the Underworld. You might even want to call him Satan. Tainted armor plates cover a gargantuan body. The Grim Reaper cloak billows back in the maelstrom. Enormous yet elegant ram's horns curl tightly on either side of his elongated biomechanical head. The great scythe flung across his back, his voice booms around the arena.
The Father. Son. Holy Ghost.
They struggle in Thanos' grip. Thanos laughs.
Pathetic creation.
He casts Jason aside with contemptuous ease, his body bouncing the edge of the platform and toppling over the edge.
Thanos!
Thanos casts Freddy casually into the Pentagon, stone gratturing under the impact. Green energy sparks zap around the unholy, patters it with glitches.
Your purpose is served.
Thanos turns to the women, guffaws at the sight of Alice leveling a pistol at him. She lowers it. The women shrink back under Thanos' coolly penetrating gaze.
Intruders to my realm, no matter you are inconsequential.
Thanos gestures a hand. Two dangling chains animate, seize them like tentacles. Hoist them aloft in a vice grip. Thanos turns back to Freddy, crawling pitifully on the stone floor. Raises his head painfully at the Dark Lord.
Our pact! We gave you souls! Fresh innocence!
Thanos stalks around Freddy.
Fool! Bargains forget my hell are worth not. When I kill these ratios, the balance will change. A universe born afresh in my image.
Freddy growls deep within. The singularity vortex chews the last of the bridge behind, begins churning at the platform. The whole ground shakes like an earthquake. Freddy rises, impels himself at the towering demon. Thanos' scythe wheels, bats Freddy away.
Insect, it is time to meet your maker.
Thanos makes a gesture with the scythe. An energy wave hits the fallen dream killer, transmuting him into old Freddy from Nightmares 1 to 6.
Remember that you are weak, puny.
Thanos stalks toward old Freddy, his form changing, reducing. In 4 steps, Thanos has himself metamorphosized into a new Freddy, but with a difference. Thanos' malevolent eyes are still there, but the Freddy body is dark, oily, black whiplash tentacles extruding, then sucking back. Think of the Carnage character in Marvel's Spider-Man. Old Freddy crawls away, and Thanos Freddy raises an arm. It elongates to a great obsidian spear, punching through Old Freddy and pinning him to the ground. Old Freddy finger gloves scrapes hopelessly at it.
Now, live your own nightmare.
The gruesome sculptures overhead shake as the singularity vortex intrudes upon the arena. A stone chunk topples as the universe bubble closes in, fractures the children's rotating glass prison, and bounces clear. Thanos retracts his spear arm and turns toward it, his scythe swelling into existence.
Finally, the convergence of all time, all space, my purgatory ends.
The women scream as the scythe arcs back to strike.
No!
You bastard!
Thanos Freddy laughs, cruel and cold, then goes abruptly rigid. His eyes stare wide as the animate chains holding Jessica and Alice loosen, the women dropping to their freedom.
The gun!
A massive bellow escapes Thanos Freddy's lips. A blast of power simultaneously hits Old Freddy, transforming him back into his true underworld form. He raises himself from the floor to see a battered Jason atop Thanos' back. A retrieved horrible dagger buried between the Dark Lord's shoulders. Thanos reels backward as the blade glows orange. Jason twisting it again with a guttural snarl, and the animate chains crash limply to the ground, narrowly missing the girls. Alice snatches up the fallen Beretta. Thanos swells, reverting to his towering form, crackling energy licking across his body, tendrils lashing out at Jason. Freddy throws himself at the demon, uses his fractured blades as climbing pythons, bringing himself to the Dark Lord's face.
Time to meet what you made.
Freddy drives the broken steel hard up, cleaving into Thanos' neck. As Alice places the pistol's muzzle point blank against the cracked prism, blam, it explodes into 1,000 fragments, the children falling in a heap to the floor.
Jake!
Mommy!
Thanos turns to see mothers and children embrace, reunited. Statues crumble apart, masonry shattering against the floor. The demon sways, arms like windmills, fighting against his two creatures.
No, I leave.
Try again.
Freddy and Jason twist their blades savagely, and an echoing cry of pain fills the cosmos as the women and the kids throw their arms about each other in a group huddle, and the very fabric of the universe ends in a total whiteout. Cut to exterior hilltop, Bethlehem, night, January 1st, 2000. The fabric of space puckers, bulges, disgorges. Alice, Jessica, Jacob, and Stephanie. They crash in a heap atop a grassy hill. The lights of a town glow brightly below.
Mommy!
Jessica embraces Stephanie.
Oh, baby.
Are we home?
A low rumble and then points of light bursting wide open in the sky.
Fireworks!
The New Year's display!
Jessica's head drops, remembers Stephen's promise.
God. Made it. We actually did it.
Alice looks soberly at Jessica, nods.
We tipped the millennium. But what happened to Cobain?
Cut to Interior, men's room, police station, afternoon, the 1960s. The long mirror above a row of wash basins bulges, extends a silvered polyp. It hangs for a second, then bursts. Cobain falls heavily to the tiled floor.
Oh, Jesus, Mary and Joseph.
He pulls himself together, drags himself up. There's a newspaper folded by the basin. He flips it open, reads the masthead. The Springwood Gazette. Very period.
1960s. Oh, no way.
Interior corridor, police station, afternoon, 1960s. Cobain walks down a corridor. A cop passes him. Through the slats of an office window, he spies a plainclothes cop slugging back a bottle of wild turkey. The man sees Cobain, drops the bottle quickly into a desk drawer, exits the office, hurries past him. Interior office, police station, afternoon, 1960s. Cobain peeks out through the office window. 1960s car goes past. He shakes his head.
Quantico never prepped me for this. This one.
He looks at the cop paraphernalia on the walls, the mess of paperwork on the desk, sees an unsigned search warrant in an open manila folder. He picks it up, reads the details.
Krueger?
Another cop, blonde Irishman whose name badge says blocker, appears in a hurry at the door.
Who was that, weren't you?
Excuse me?
I said you're through with that, weren't you?
Oh, you have something else to say.
Oh. The power plant, Springwood slasher case. Don Thompson and I started going over to bust this guy right now. You done?
Cobain realizes the importance of this statement.
Just about.
He puts the warrant down, sees another form nearby, picks up a pen and copies it. A perfect signature. Hands it back.
There you go.
Thanks. Matt'll tell you, this is turning out to be a beautiful day.
Cobain nods seriously.
Yeah.
Exterior street, afternoon, 1960s. Cobain walks down the street, looks around. It is as he saw it through a mirror, sunny, sprinklers watering lawns, dogs barking, 60s automobiles, white picket fences. He nods at a pair of 60s dressed women as they pass him.
Like a dream.
He passes a playground, sees children playing in an idealized way. Here's a song familiar to us. The lyrics are different.
1, 2, he's not coming for you. 3, 4, unlock your door.
A voice jerks him around. He sees Amanda Krueger standing off to the side of the playground.
All right, children, we are going now.
The kids go towards her.
6,
6.
pack your
crucifix.
She frowns. Cobain sees a kid alone digging in a sandpit.
Jason, come along.
The kid looks up. We see a small, misshapen face. The embroidered boiler suit. It's Jason Voorhees. He reaches behind him and pulls on a cowboy hat. Races after the other kids as Cobain smiles.
7, 8,
Gonna
stay out late.
Another angle. The music score goes deep and menacing off screen, and the shadow of the great cloaked figure wielding a scythe falls across Cobain. He turns and squints up at the sun, shining through a squeaky weather vane of old Father Time.
Yeah. A beautiful day indeed.
9,
10,
10, you can sleep again.
And we slam cut to black as we have reached the end.
The end.
Yay! Oh my God! Yay! It's done. There's a restroom. Go if you have to, because you probably don't want to promote after being here for 6 hours.
That was fucking crazy.
Nuts. Nuts.
I don't know how to wrap my head around this.
It reminds me of like when you're like in the middle of a paper and it starts out kind of okay, but then you're like, oh no, I only have 1 hour to finish this paper. And I have to do something. And it's like, what? I just gonna.
It's like Hunter S. Thompson and Gary Busey had a dream baby.
Yeah.
Banana sandwich.
Also, has he
Great.
ever seen a Friday the? I
This
don't know.
wasn't-
The timeline was crazy.
For those
first of all.
watching, this was not my original script. Even though maybe it could have been a first draft, but this is Peter Briggs' edition of Freddy versus Jason. The script where they fight slightly at the end, and it's all based on the other characters for most of the movie. So before we go, better than Freddy versus Jason that came out or not? Yay or nay?
I would like to see it live action.
No, I think what they made was better. Although I do wish I liked that they included characters from the other series, like Alice and Jessica. Like, I liked that part of it. I don't understand the FBI storyline. That was kind of crazy. It was like some weird procedural characters like dropped in.
I'll say this real quick before we go to promos, because I know, and like I said, if you have to go, I understand. We've been here for a while. There was a Hellraiser movie that I think focused on FBI agents in the late '90s. So I think it's becoming maybe if you remember, it was one of the lesser known Hellraiser movies. I think they were FBI agents. So maybe it was like, hey, FBI is cool. Let's put them in. But anyway, before we go, it's promo. I don't know who's watching. I haven't checked YouTube in months. I mean, hours. I don't know who's watching. One person watching. I think it's just me. All right. Anyway, anybody want to promote before you go?
Sure.
Please raise your hand. Yes. First Nicole, and then Laura, and then Brenna, and then whoever else raised their hand will get to you in a second. So Nicole, yeah.
Well, I do a podcast with my friend Sarah called the Adam and Andy Podcast, and we watch Adam Driver and Andy Samberg movies. We're currently watching and TV. So currently we're watching Brooklyn Nine-Nine season 8. And soon we'll be talking about Ridley Scott's The Last Duel. So you can check us out, the Adam and Andy Podcast.
Yay. Laura, and then Brenna.
Yeah, I am running workshops throughout the month of October and November, so just check out my website that is lifeisimprov.co.uk.
And also put these in the chat when you're done. Brenna.
I am running another puppet improv jam for SMAC. That's going to take place in what, Laura, 8.5 hours now?
It's 5:30 a.m. here, so yes, you're right.
Yeah,
Conversion.
Here it's 6:30 where I am. Spain.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
So 9 p.m. UTC plus 8, which is 9 p.m. China Central or Standard Time. And you don't have to have a puppet. You don't have to have experience. Just come and play short form games. We're going to do LeBron today. So if you want to come play and get started in puppets, or you just like puppets and you want to play, just come play.
Hey, who else? And also, like I said, if you have to go, I know it's been late. Who else with promos before I go? Sam?
Yeah, I'll do. Live from the Asylum is back. We're in season 2. If anybody has seen that, it's you can follow it on Facebook. I think it's at 9:30 on Thursdays. Yeah, I think I did that right. So,
Okay. Anybody else? I'm not trying to rush through. I just know it's late, and you're all put in the chat because I love you all. I'll go. Final thing. Let's see. November 6th. If you want to be a part of another script reading, if you can't get enough of being online for 6. I mean, they're fun. They're fun.
I had so much fun.
I had
Yeah.
a
It was a lot of
This was a
fun.
blast.
Yeah, thank you.
I want to apologize.
I get in my head because they're so long. But if you're interested in the next script, is Spider-Man 1993, which I'll put in the chat. So anybody can. I mean, I haven't really opened it up, but if you know, like, oh, I'm going to be free that day a month from now, you can message me and I'll find a role. It's not the James Cameron treatment because that one had too much exposition, and I was like, I'm not going to do that one. This one only has Doc Ock as the villain, so which is great for Spider-Man No Way Home. I'll be playing Peter Parker because I don't know, I have the outfit and I have the glasses, I guess, I want to put on the Spider-Man outfit. So yeah, if you want to play in that, message me. But that's it. I think everybody, we should go to bed. Thank you everybody who stayed up late, and thank you everybody who watched or who's watching in the future. Love you all. Have a good night. May the force be with you. And
It was super fun.